Yeah. Okay, T minus 5 seconds. Here we go. Usual plan. We didn't test your audio, so we're going to see how it works. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This will be my last stream at this current green screen location until we move to new green screen location. So it'll be very, very exciting. So for those who haven't caught the last several streams, I am moving. No stream next week. I will repeat. No stream August 14th. I can add 7 to the current day. Because I have a new place. I am signing papers, moving stuff in all next week. So yeah, it's going to be a week of chaos. And yeah, I'm not going to add to the chaos by trying to stream and whatnot. So I am once again joined by my good pal, Casey. Casey!
Hello, Kevin.
Welcome.
Long time no see.
It's been a grand total of, I don't know, what, a couple moments?
Yeah.
But we have started in a couple streams ago. So if people are just catching this tonight, this is part 3. Yeah, good. I was just checking my stream title to make sure I actually changed the 2 to a 3.
You're right. It is 3.
So the premise of what we are building is I keep this repo up here, and this repo contains a lovely folder with subtitles. These subtitles are markdown files. These markdown files contain the transcripts of all of my YouTube videos. And so you can search these markdown files. You can click on these links and go to that point in the YouTube video. And it's great and awesome. And I have been incredibly lazy, and I use this when people ask questions and they're like, hey, what about this? And I'm like, I know I talked about this on a video. I search this, I find it, and I'm basically using GitHub as my own little indexer of my YouTube videos to be able to search my content. It's been great. But we can do better. Enter Casey and wonderful AI, right?
I think at this point, we're looking to automate you out of a job. Or
I
at least
have to
the job
generate
of
the
doing a
content
search against
initially.
your
Yes.
subtitles.
You can automate the answer to the questions. I have to generate the content in the first place. So, there's that.
That's fair.
So we started building in, coupled into this repository, because this repository serves way too many purposes right now. But underneath this AI folder, we have started building out our own little implementation of Kevin GPT, or KebuBot, as we have affectionately named it. And last week, we got it ingesting a file. Casey gave a long speech about how it wasn't going to work, and then it worked flawlessly. It knew exactly what my favorite flavor of Mountain Dew was, or at least my favorite beverage was Mountain Dew. So I counted it as a win. It didn't take a very smart AI to figure it out, but you know what? It figured it out.
Hey, I just had to make sure I provided a certain level of risk management. I didn't want to get too many hopes up, risk adverse here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I had faith in it, despite all of the failures we had along the way. But the key thing here is this little lib thing and this Docker file. So kernel memory is the wonderful library that we are leveraging. And it comes with, I think, a built-in image for everything you need to launch your own GPT clone effectively.
It's darn near everything, and really it's not a GPT clone. It's really a RAG implementation. For those of you that weren't here before or are unfamiliar, RAG is retrieval augmented generation. It takes the ability to have the LLM use text to build a response for you, and then adds the ability to pull back data or information called memories, typically, and use those as part of the context for answering the question. So you're not restricted by a training cutoff time, nor by the fact that it doesn't know everything about you. This is starting to get used by quite a few companies for internal documentation and being able to answer questions against their own documentation that's not actually public. So it would never have been trained on it. Pretty cool stuff. And yeah, you're right. Kernel memory, they did a lot of good work there. And it's made this a lot easier than even I thought it was going to be, because I had us going down the path of actually using the library directly instead of just injecting our own DLL, which that still kind of confounds me how
easy it worked. Yeah. So so you can ignore the API project. We may kill it at some point because we clearly don't need it. But the sum total of this is we built a little library project. You have to reference kernel memory stuff. we built this little partitioner class, and this was largely based around what they call it, text partitioner, I think is what theirs was called.
Yeah.
We basically copied their code and said, nah, we're going to keep bits of it and throw a bunch of it away. So a lot of this code looks really big and complex. The important part that we built was this little bit right here, and that's really tiny. My apologies. Let's fix that. Whoop. We built this little string builder with a regex matcher here to basically parse my markdown files, so nothing fancy. It does this little chunking thing to count the amount of text in there, because it counts it based upon tokens, not necessarily based upon words or character counts or similar. And so you have to measure your tokens appropriately. And this was the sum total of it. We tack on the URL as part of the tags. Yep. And then we were good to go. Like, that was it. And so this Docker file here got pushed up to, well, here, we can go to this resource group. We've got a little container app environment with this little MyBot thing running. I need to rename this. I still haven't done that. It needs to be KabooBot so it matches every other resource in here. It's bothering me that it's not, but we'll fix that later. But this then kicks off everything and gets us running. And I think, like, the biggest spend on this, and that's what I was going to pull up. So this resource group, since last week, for anybody who's worried, like, oh, you know, if I run this, what is it going to cost me? And you know, take this with a bit of a grain of salt. If I do last 7 days, right? So my last 7 days is forecasted to cost me $5.25. Like, and this is the little taper off at the end. I suspect this taper off is roughly the fact that the day hasn't ended, and this is kind of an aggregate thing. It's not calculated continuously. There's a little bit of delay in it. So I imagine my spend is going to be roughly around $5.25 for these 7 days, which puts me around, what is that, 22 for the month, give or take a little bit.
Yeah.
With the biggest spend being the database, then the container registry, and then honestly, everything else is just like not worth mentioning, because
yeah, it'll be interesting to see as we go, because I mean, obviously right now, your database, you have that kind of that base cost, which is, like you've said, our largest cost so far.
Largest.
There is a data cost to it. Yeah, largest. It's so big. But there is obviously a data storage cost, or a capacity cost for your Postgres database as well. So as we add memories to that, it'll be interesting to see how that increases. And then as well as your regular storage costs also increasing for the tracking of what's been ingested already. But also it'll be interesting to see the cognitive services increase, because we haven't run a full one yet.
Not in the last 7 days. I did one like 9 or 10 days ago, but this number, like, here, will this month? Oh, that's just going to be August. Can you do last 30 days? Yeah, last 30 days. This is basically since inception. Yeah, my cognitive service cost went all the way up to 51 cents. Big spender here.
Big spender. And I think, between the 29th and the 2nd there would have been the last week.
Yeah. Like, you could see if you look real close, right, you could see the slope increase, which is probably when I started playing. Yeah. So that's so.
And then what's the sum total of the size of your transcripts again?
Oh, the actual size of the file.
We looked at that, right?
So let me blow some of this stuff out. If we go here and sort by size, my biggest one is 453K.
Kevin, you're killing me. Go up a folder, right click. Let's get some size.
Oh, you want the total
here.
Size of all of them?
Yeah, okay. I want the total size.
Interesting how big the individual files are. We've got 40 megs. 41. We'll round up.
Yeah, no, that's still, regardless of how small we make those, I mean, it's going to be extra embeddings. It's still going to be dirt cheap.
Like, I haven't even hit 3 digits worth of megs in several years of streaming. So you know what? I think I'm fine.
Well, maybe we'll find some other valuable information that we could put in there as part of KevinBot. You never know.
KebuBot. But yes.
KebuBot.
Regardless.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, cool.
So that's where we're at. I don't know. Here, do we want to show off the cool thing here?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good call. I thought about it and then I forgot about it. No, we absolutely need to show it off because this was our first like big success.
Yes. Why do you not go bigger? How do I zoom in? Postman, how do I make you bigger? View, zoom in. Control plus equals.
Equals?
Okay. Oh, I guess I always do shift to get the plus in there, and so that was probably messing it up. Okay.
Oh,
so
yeah.
What is Kevin's favorite drink? This is a very important question.
Drum roll.
And for people's reference, there are 2 embeddings out there that were trained on, I think, about 5 minutes worth of markdown. This is going to be a little slow on the initial run, I should warn people, because I have my container app scaling from 0. So when I'm not using it, the cost of it goes basically to nothing, at least for the container app portion of it.
Well, and
then here's
we go.
And so let's just take a quick moment for those people who may be new to the videos. Kevin's favorite drink appears to be Mountain Dew. In case there's any doubt, yes, the AI is correct.
Well, and I like that it's got there kind of an explanation as well, as he mentions having exactly 1 Mountain Dew worth of energy. It quoted you.
I know.
That's pretty funny.
It's mocking me, and I enjoy that.
Oh, it is. It is. And you can see below that in our partitions, it shows the sources. And I believe if we go far enough down, we can even get the URL as well amongst those tags. Yep. So there we go.
There is that one there. So that is the YouTube link where this can be found, because I think we just took one of my files and then stripped it down to tiny.
Yeah, very tiny. Well, great. Yeah, and there's another source. I think we talked a little bit about that.
This is the second embedding that is actually up there. It just had a lower confidence that it was relevant. So you can see this is 2 minutes and 11 seconds in is where this one starts. So cool. So works like a charm. Absolutely works like a charm.
Huzzah.
Yeah, and I one other thing I'm going to point out to people in case anybody gets over eager, there is an auth header that is being hidden from people. So don't get any cheeky ideas. Okay, because that
or get shaky ideas and
share them.
Fail miserably,
or share them. I mean, I don't mind that. Okay, so let's go through this, because what I think we want to do now is actually get everything in. Right?
Yeah, I think so. Do we want to look at, we talked a little bit about reducing the size of those. If we go back to that Postman real quick.
Oh, yeah.
We can see that those are kind of large. I mean, that's a lot of information. It's kind of hard to judge whether we should shorten them or not based on like the density of the information. Like what we're really looking to get out of these is somebody being able to ask like a technical question. And it really, in my opinion, comes down to what's the optimal like size to have a good density of information. So it's not like we have embeddings that are like strictly, a diatribe about Mountain Dew or something else that's not relevant.
Because Mountain Dew is relevant.
Well, fair. Something other than Mountain Dew that's not relevant.
Yeah, so I mean, we do have a minimum size because we can't get smaller than basically, sorry, I wanted to look at this raw to see what the breakdown was of this. Because the subtitle thing breaks it about every 3 seconds. So whatever we pick has to be roughly in, like, I don't understand why they broke that one there and why that one's 2 seconds and that one's 1 second there. But it, like, just kind of ballparking this, it seems like each line is roughly at a 3 second increment. I think what we did before is our token size was like 100. Let's go look.
We could look at this. We could look at this another way too. So we've been strictly viewing this as breaking it up by token size. which is typically what you do. You want to make sure that you don't have too many tokens going into your embeddings, or you're going to either cut off the beginning or the end, or it's just going to tell you it doesn't work, depending on the API that you're using in the model. But we could also look at cutting this up by duration. We could look at cutting this up every 30 seconds or every approximately 30 seconds. And that might actually give us better like sizing based on the type of data that's coming in, strictly a transcript of a voice, you know.
That's true. And we did have a concept here of trying to overlap these sections, right? That way if regardless of what happens, if we're in the middle, we end up doing that, because we could look at doing that as well and seeing where that gets us.
Yeah, we definitely could.
Let me get some stuff closed out because I got way too much stuff open. I was doing stuff today, and I open apps, and apps should be not open. Okay.
Yeah, that happens.
Remind me.
For me, it's browser windows.
Yeah, remind me to show you. I did a cool AI thing earlier today, and I'm realizing I want to show it to you, but I can't show it to you on stream. So.
Ooh, I can't wait to see.
Yeah, so that's going to be a more interesting thing. Okay,
awesome.
So if we were going to do that, that would require us to parse a timestamp off of the back of the URL, I think is the only way to get that.
I think so as well. And that's kind of what I was thinking as we looked at the raw again. I was like, wait a second. What if we just pulled the time and used that? So, I mean again, it's something to look at if we want to.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's get a GitHub action ingesting everything. And then let's circle back. I'm going to put a to-do on this little guy, though. Look at setting up based on time. Because that's, like, we've already got the URL. We can pull the query string out. The only thing that gets mildly interested is parsing those hours, minutes, seconds. But I see regex and time span add, and I'm done. Because I don't...
Yeah, and then...
I think... Yeah, because it's real easy to deal with.
Oh yeah, this is a super clean regex because they're all 100% consistent. It's not like you have a single zero on the hour when you don't have any hours.
Oh, and we need to look at...
Even that wouldn't that be
bad?
Well,
we need to prune this one off the front. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. We hadn't done that yet. Let's do that real quick.
Okay, so what we want to do here, and honestly, like, how stupid simple do you want to be? Because I could get real lazy and go if or let's do this, string equals done.
You know, that seems like a line of code that would work. So ship it.
Send it. Full send.
I like it.
Done.
Yep. Exactly.
Done.
Beautiful.
Done. Okay.
All right, back to GitHub Actions.
Get back to GitHub Actions. Okay, so there are two ways I have approached this in the past, and you can tell me what you like. I have done this from the perspective of, like, a lot of the GitHub Actions that exist in this repo right now. For example, the one that generates these subtitle files. It's literally doing .NET Run on one of the projects in the solution. It is that level of easy. So we could attack this from the perspective of, I've got this here. We could just literally write a little CLI app and just rip through stuff. The other thing that I have done in the past, if we go here, and we go here, and we go here, and we do release, and we come down here, and I want to find my get contributors. Right, so I have this repo here. Dot. You have to spell GitHub correctly, though, for this to work.
That is important.
If we go, so I built this little guy here, and his sole purpose in life is to be so he is also a command line application. But I feed him a milestone and some repo information and an access token and whatnot. So nothing overly fancy, right? He uses the GitHub SDK, and returns back me a list of contributors. And the only thing that is mildly interesting about this entire repository, right? Because it's a simple CLI app. Anyone can write this.
Mm-hmm.
I've got this little Docker file, and I've got this little action file. This Docker file has a real simple runtime, right? Nothing too exciting, right? It's kind of what you would expect for generating up a Docker file and packaging up a C# application. And then this action.yaml makes this a GitHub action that I can then just reference like this. That's the like, and so it does it as a containerized action that's now reusable across any repo that I have.
I like that. I
was stupid lazy. Absolutely stupid lazy. The disadvantage here, though, is you have to then feed in information like access token and repo, and then do that kind of stuff. Versus if you .NET run it, we're already after a clone. So,
well, and let's think about this for just a second. What are we going to .NET run?
So, I'm thinking what we basically need to automate is the call that we did here to upload, right? Because we did an upload where we fed it a file, gen a document ID, and we gave it an index, but I think we just default this to default, right? So this is not hard.
Yeah.
Right? The only thing that's mildly interesting is we have to send the auth header. But we just need to hit my upload endpoint with every single file. Right? Not hard.
Yep. Agreed.
So if that's all we need to do, then I kind of think that I just write a CLI app and we do, well, I guess regardless, we're writing a CLI
app. This comes from you being a developer and not like a CI/CD or a DevOps kind of person. Because I feel like you're just saying
write code,
GitHub Actions, all that extra stuff that you can do. No. I'm going to write a C# program for this.
Okay, fine. You want to do it all in like PowerShell or something and script it that way? Like,
no.
We can do it that way too, right?
I just got to pitch you some crap, my friend.
We can do it that way.
Yeah, we can definitely. We can definitely do it as a CLI app. I imagine that the input to the CLI app is functionally just going to be the new file, but we'll still trigger on additions to that folder, right?
Yeah, I guess
because that's really what we're going to do in the long run.
Well, I guess that's my thought though is I'm wondering if there's two cases, right? Because for your GitHub action, like for example, this one here, I'm feeding it in a milestone, but I'm kind of wondering if I make an optional thing that's file name, right? And if no file name comes in, we rip everything.
Then it's everything. Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to handle it. I like that. Okay. Yeah.
So let's
build a CLI app.
Build a CLI app. Because what we needed was another project. Because there's
at least this one's only 10 lines of code.
But I can make it significantly
that's all
longer.
Lib is too.
Hang on. We can do this in a cooler way. Hang on. So here we go.
You got a good template for this?
Of course, I've got a template for this.
Love it.
I love what are we gonna call this? Kaboo bot importer? Is importer a good word? Uploader?
I feel like uploader wouldn't be bad. Importer's not bad. I feel like just carrying on with the ingest terminology, ingester. Although ingester sounds weird.
We could just do ingest.
Ingest. I like that. Is ingest spelled with a J or a G?
Dang nabbit, I don't know.
We're both terrible at spelling. Fair enough. Ingest. Yeah, it's definitely.
Dang it! Well, thank you for stopping me before I got too far carried away. So what I heard is RM. Let's see. Okay. Try this again, like that.
It was like nothing ever happened.
I saw nothing. You cannot prove it. Ignore the log. See? Boom. Gone. Okay.
Perfect.
.NET. New. Dang it. How does it know that that's the template I want? That's not my most popular template. I don't.
But it knows
you. It knew that I was clearly going to do this. Ooh. There's an update for my package.
Ooh.
Must install.
That you don't even have.
That I don't even have yet. Sorry. RM star. We're gonna just nuke.
Yep.
We're gonna just do this. This is gonna be way overkill for what we need because it's gonna bring in a lot more.
All you have to do is CLS again, and it was like it never happened. It's fine.
Yeah. So 1 second. I'm gonna grab. I don't know why it is so. I really wish when it opened this dialog that it would default to the solution directory. That would be
it's kind of a pain.
Be a nice. Hang on, I'm gonna change up a couple things because it generated me a whole. It generated me a whole bunch of stuff that I don't really want, like a GitHub folder and a test project. Tests are for people who write bugs. Okay. So let's see here. Don't want you. Don't want you. Don't want you. Hold up. Before I nuke the packages, props. Oh, we should be fine. I should already have all those imported. Okay. No, I don't. Well, here's what we do. Manage NuGet packages.
Can't you undo as well?
The problem is if I put that back, I'm gonna get bit by what? Good preview. I'm going to get bit by the fact that having a single project on centralized package management is a recipe for disaster. You either do them all or you do one, and I think we're gonna do one. We're not gonna send this as a global tool, so we get rid of that. We don't really care about versioning. That's a thing that doesn't exist. Okay, cool. We don't need a NuGet config. I don't need an exclusions dictionary. And now we're off to the races. Huh? Okay, now I'm curious what version I was on. Sorry. Small detour. Small detour while I fix my stupid.
Oh, it happens.
Small detour while I fix my stupid. What the heck did I do wrong? Template. Because I should probably update this, but I don't want to think about that right now, and I just want to know what version of the library I need. I want beta 4 24324. Actually, what am I doing? Just copy this bloody line. That line there goes right here. Paste, save. We're good. Yeah?
They do some deep level of versioning.
Yeah, for arguably dumb reasons. So there's a big refactor for I don't have implicit usings turned on. Yeah. I get it. Shut up. There's a big refactor on system command line happening right now. There's an issue out there for anybody who wants the gory details. You are looking for the thing called powder keg. I think it's the code name for it. Powder keg? Powder, yeah. So the short version is they're looking to separate out the kind of the core bits of the library from the optional bits, so that it actually provides the core bits then hopefully at some points get maintained by the runtime team, which then hopefully resolves people's concern of, is this library dead? Is it going to be maintained? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. It's going to live. But it's only the core bits that are guaranteed to live. The add-on stuff is still going to be effectively community toolkit level support, which is still good. It's just not what people always expect. Okay, with that.
Yeah, but it's really nice that they're going to be long-term supporting that, like the core pieces there, because it's a powerful tool.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really good.
So we're going to do file. We'll give it an optional argument of -f, right? And we're going to do, this thing wants, I'm trying to remember the order of operations. CLI option, not argument, please. And then is it name aliases? Yeah.
Name aliases.
File to parse. No, file to in with a G, jest. And then we don't need a nested command. We only need a root command. Let's see. File option. That goes here. And then this becomes root command. But we should probably put it below root command so that it actually has been declared. That would be a useful thing. And then this becomes root command. There we go. And then we pull out the file info, file option. And now we can write the useful stuff. That was a little bit of boilerplate. Not gonna lie.
I mean, other than moving stuff, you haven't really written a whole lot.
Ability's not enabled, man. I gotta get. Okay, shut up. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna need HTTP client. Client gets new. Right, we're gonna fire this off. Sure, we can add a user agent onto that. I don't mind. Anything else you want to write for me, Copilot? No. No, we are going to upload the file. So what we really
on the
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say on the headers, how do we want to handle the auth token?
Good point. CLI option string. Wait, was it trying to write API key for me? All right, I think it. It's not an open API key, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna put on here required true, because if you don't send that, we should blow up.
Yeah.
Thanks. And then, hey, Copilot, what do I want here? Amateur.
Amateur hour in here.
Okay, and then we can bang on that because we're going to trust that required in system command line does what it's supposed to do. Let's see. Client, default request headers. I mean, it's almost too easy.
It almost is.
It's kind of ridiculous. I'm going to drag this thing over here real quick and just double check the secret that is the correct form for it, because I'm trying to remember all the way back.
I want to say it was a bearer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's right, but I just want to.
Yeah.
I want to just double check that before I get too carried away.
I think the best thing is I think Copilot may actually significantly reduce programmer carpal tunnel. Less typing. You know?
You're not wrong. Where do I find? Okay, help me out here. So where do I?
Environments.
That's right. Thank you. And
no
I
problem.
Go here.
And then you hide.
Yeah, and then I just move that to the side, and then. So, it didn't actually have bearer in there. It was just putting the key directly into the auth header.
Go to.
And so I can.
Is it putting it directly into the auth header, or is it that the auth?
So if I go
so
here,
your auth header key.
If I go here and go to authorization.
Go to headers.
Authorization. Key authorization.
Okay.
Auth header key. Based on what you showed me, I look here. The value here is just the straight key.
Then you're spot on. It doesn't have a bearer.
So I literally just do this. Yeah.
Yep.
Boom. Okay.
Nice and easy.
Easy mode. I am then going to propose we do something like private static task ingest. I'm going to figure out how to spell ingest by the end of this.
It's all right. J just feels like it's right there, like a jester.
I know. Let's see. And now we're going to pull Postman over and just make sure we get this structured properly.
Yep, make our lives
yeah.
easy.
So blah, 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 blah. So I think we can, because this is just multi-part form and then form data. So I believe what we do is post async. Let's see. Form content, right? Like that. And then we sent the key as files, document ID, and index, right? So we have
Yep.
files, document ID. Dang nabbit, Copilot, stop it. You freaking show off, and you're wrong too. Get in line. Index. Must assert dominance over the AI.
Tell it who's boss,
yeah.
Kevin.
Can't let it think it's better than me. Okay, for the files, I think I actually have to do something like this. Content, what is the... Hang on. There's a trick to this. It's right click, ask Copilot, add file to content, a file upload. This is one of the few times. Oh dear heavens, what have you done?
Multi-part form data content. Okay.
Yeah, the problem is where did... Oh, I see. Got it.
I think the only issue there is no file full name. Yeah.
So
that looks pretty clean.
Yeah, it is, except for I think I want to do this instead, and then I think this comes down here, and I do this, right? So I come here, let's see, string content. Yeah. That goes, no, you already did it. Stop it. You don't get to do it again. You've already had your fun. Now knock it off.
Well, wait, do you need to do that? Because at the beginning there, you've got content. Is that going to bring in all of the content?
I'm trying to remember how I do this. I don't remember.
Because I feel like you're bringing in the content and then you're defining replacements, right?
Hey, Ryan user. Yes. Let's see. So, okay. Form data. I cannot remember how the API for this works. Headers, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Yeah. Okay. Hang on. The other person who knows is the Googles.
Das Googles.
File upload.
It's so funny because you're not using Google, but Google gets used just like Kleenex as a colloquial name for all things that do
search engines.
X.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see here. That guy said it was multi-platform content. Data. Yeah. Oh, it's stream content. That's the kicker. Okay. I remember. So it's not just content right here. You want new stream content, right? And then this becomes file open read.
Okay.
And then the name, and I think we can just do file.name in both cases, actually. No, because we want the name of, I think we want this to be files. And then this goes away, and that thing did point out to me. I'm supposed to be cleaning this sucker up. I am also thinking that I probably need to do using var file stream gets file open read, because I should I don't know that stream content cleans up the file stream. So we're just gonna make sure. And then over here, we don't do this, we don't do this, we do file stream, right? And then post
Beautiful.
async. Hold on. What I screw up? Default request is form content.
It's not file stream.
Oh,
it's the form data.
Yeah. Okay. So minor detail. I'm wondering about this thing here. We should probably have string about ingest endpoint, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we
get a little bit more generic
because we're on a container app. We know that sucker's going to change on pushes, and it's like
until we give it a URL. I mean,
detailed.
Details.
The ingest endpoint. All right, so we'll do that. We'll do that, and then we'll come down here. Actually, we can do one step better. We can go URI and get parsing on this.
Beautiful.
URI, yeah, thanks. And then what I would like to do is client there, and then this guy can literally full send empty string. Actually, I think he has to be /upload. Isn't that the endpoint?
Yeah, /upload.
Where'd my postman go? /upload. Oh, huzzah.
Beautiful.
Okay, so that fires there. Private members unused. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. Okay. So, if file is not null, we're gonna go await ingest file. Boom.
Beautiful.
And make my life a little simpler. Else, do we make some assumptions on our working directory?
I think, well,
how smart do we want to make it? Because I can have it walk to the root of the repo.
And... I mean, at this point, we already did, give it an endpoint instead of setting something that will, probably not change later. We might as well make it smart all the way. Killing me.
I know. But there's a library. The library.
Teach me about another library.
Peltec. Looking for utils. Just don't remember what it's named. Hang on. Is the author in the chat? I don't see the author in the chat. Dang it. It was gonna save me some time if I had it. And where is it here? It might be this
one. I thought the multi-tool was the C# additional tooling around the site, but I could be wrong.
It has several things in it that were deemed useful functions, and one of which was pulling out get default all repo root.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, so it walks the sucker looking for it. Rather than bringing in the NuGet package, I'm just gonna borrow. Where did build variables come from? Is build variables a class in here? Build variables is a dictionary. Get temp. I don't think I care. We'll delete the bits that I don't care about. Don't care. Oh, interesting. So it's just, this isn't what I want.
Do you care about any of this?
No, I'm just realizing I don't care about any
wait
of
a
this
second.
because I need the thing that populates the file. We're just gonna do this. So we're gonna just say directory info current gets.
See, and this is one of the downsides of doing a CLI app over using our GitHub. It's just a variable you call, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like we could pass it in if we wanted. Do we want to?
I don't think that's unreasonable. We could pass it in.
So basically what we're saying is it has to feed one or the other.
Yeah,
I mean, I can do it right now.
I know. I'm trying to think
fast because I'm typing.
Yeah, bring it in. Bring the directory info in. I think it's fair. I mean, it's not a huge ask to pull that from your GitHub runner and then stuff it into the command. So, oh, we forgot ingestion endpoint.
Yeah, the number of times I've forgotten I've declared it and they just never used it is a little higher than I'd like to admit. Else if directory is not null, right? We will. Dang, Nabu Copilot. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Thank you. Now stop it.
Now, thought on that.
Yep.
I think we changed and maybe I don't remember what we have up there, but is that file or file name?
This is file info.
Okay.
So it has the name, it has the directory, it has all the metadata about it.
Do we just pass a file name and have it append the directory so that it's not?
Oh, I see.
Because we're requiring the directory, right?
We aren't requiring the directory. I was going to require one or the other, but you make a good point, right? Like we could make this guy required and make this guy a file name.
I think that makes the most sense to me.
File name. The name of the file to ingest. Right?
Yeah.
The directory, let's see. That contains files to ingest. Right? So we make file name optional. Bring file name. All right, so a file name is not null. We will do file info. Let's see, path. Bind. Directory, full name, file name.
Yeah,
we're gonna make
that's a bit cleaner of an option.
Directory required. And then we'll be mildly helpful to us if Copilot, exactly what you wanted to write. Go back. Thank you. Yeah, that'll be. And then we don't need an else here. I think this just becomes an else. Right? So we either rip through all the files or we rip through one of the files and we call it a day.
Do we get a... Do we also check to see if the directory exists? At least on the directory option?
Sure. Yeah. That's a good check. Actually, hang on.
Oh, it was trying to do it for you again?
No, it's doing it wrong. Directory options.
Ooh. That's a new one. I have not seen that before. That's slick.
There. Anything else?
Is it specific to a CLI option that has a directory info? So it's off the directory info?
It's based on this T deriving from, what is the base class? There's a base class for directory info, file system info. So as long as this is, because directory info and file info both derive from the same base, so they both can do, because I believe that's.
So then you would have been able to do it prior to doing the directory. You would have been able to do that off the file info as well.
Yeah. Oh, I guess. I guess there's technically overloads for file info, directory info, and file system info.
Yeah, that's super slick. I like that.
Do the same thing.
And I assume it has a pretty good or a clean error message.
It will be cleaner than this, which is just die.
I love it.
But like the default
I
exception
love it.
handler will just basically dump exception to string to standard error.
Yeah.
So something like this.
Something like that.
Am I done?
Yeah.
No, I am not done.
You're getting
I'm
close,
getting real
though.
close. Open containing folder. CV. Let's see. How about ingest files? Ingest. How about markdown? Let's do that. Then I'll go here, here, existing item. Up a level, into here, here. Okay. First of all, we're going to change the name. Ingest markdown. Okay, and then we are going to change this to file name. The name of the markdown file to ingest. We're going to leave it on workflow dispatch for now.
Okay.
We do not want this to fire on a schedule. Ubuntu latest. There's no reason to run on Windows.
We agreed 100%.
Do not need to persist credentials. Let's see. We are going to need .NET, and we are going to need technically 8. It should be on the runner already, but we'll ensure that it is there. I think V5 is actually latest.
Yeah. Is it?
It's bad when I know this, isn't it?
No,
it's only good. Because Dependabot spams me with
update.
No,
notifications.
V4, yeah. So certain ones like this, that when they update, it hits every one of my repos, and I get a PR notification from Dependabot, like, I found a new thing for you. It's like, oh crap, that's gonna there's all my repos going. Okay.
Well, and I've found that using Copilot, it often does not give you the latest version of actions. It's historically for me been at least a version or two behind what is actually latest.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to go here. We are going to .NET run, and then this is going to come into this project here. I'm just going to open containing folder because I'm way too lazy to think. I'm going to just copy.
Make life easy.
And I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go paste. Then I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go paste, and I am done. Okay, so now we need to populate this sucker with some things. So we need to give it a directory. Okay, we're going to need that. We are going to need API key and endpoint. Let's see. You'd call it. That bothers me. Yeah, I like all the lowercase. And then I'm going to need.
For a second there, I thought you were going to put a dash between end and point, and I was going to be like, no, that's one word. That is one word, sir.
And then I think we do this. And then this becomes inputs. And then this becomes file name, right? I think is what that goes to.
Yeah, because we'll be handling getting that file name.
Did it?
In a caller, I would assume.
This is correct, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, because I copied from the one that's generating, so of course the directory is okay. Duh. Okay. Okay. Kaboo bot API key, I think sounds like a great name for it.
Beautiful name.
And then the endpoint, I don't think, which is hard.
No need to be a secret. No, but it should be. You should do it as a. Right? You should do a var for sure. Yeah.
Bot endpoint. It's not like there's branch protection. We can cowboy commits in. Like, just to be clear. Okay, so let's go spin some stuff then in the repo. Did I close my repo already? Probably. I want you to know, this other one was actually my first forte into AI.
Stream subtitles.
Yeah. Speech to text.
Oh, yeah. When you were doing it from Azure speech to text.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was fun.
Yeah.
That was my first foray. Stop doing it. One, it was more distracting than anything.
If YouTube's gonna do it for you, I mean,
yeah.
Why say no to free transcription?
Yeah, that was kind of the idea. I mean, it's not as good as live, but you know. Okay, so we're gonna go settings. We are going to go actions, right? You're the GitHub certified one. I only have I think my certification's lapsed. I don't know how. Because you just passed it recently, didn't you?
Yeah, secrets and variables, actions. Yeah.
See.
Unless you wanted to do it as an environment, which I mean, that's I don't think we're big enough to need an environment here. But
I don't think
we're not running multiple environments.
I was gonna say there is one environment, and it is prod.
There can only be one.
And then I go
KivoBot.
I go here, and I go here, and I go here. Let's grab the current value. I think they're the same though. And we go paste.
Yes.
Go add variable.
Beautiful.
Then we come over here to secrets, and I go new repo secret, and I go here, and I go copy, and I go paste, and then I go different screen.
Yep, you do, because it does not paste as stars.
Yep. So we come over here and we just do copy appropriately. We paste. We hit add secret. I hit my clipboard. I hit clear all on my multi-clipboard so I don't accidentally screw myself over. And then we can come back and show that it was created. Huzzah. See? And we've done it without screwing it up. It's almost like a...
No leaks. I love it.
Okay. So there's that. Okay.
Yeah.
So there are all the secrets. Now we full send, I think. Yeah.
Push up. Do a manual run. Make sure everything's running good, and then we can start to build out the actual triggers or the useful triggers.
Okay. Let's see. We don't actually want this file. Delete. I want this file. Don't want this file. Delete. Let's see. That's just a logger change. That's a to-do. That's a cleanup of the import. And then there we go. Adding CLI app for... I'll put this so my big head isn't in the way. CLI app for the name. Or for ingestion with a G. Also adding GitHub action. Run it. Commit.
Beautiful.
Push. Okay, so there's that. Quick side note. On the note of GitKraken, they've got this cool thing in their notifications. The new tabs list is kind of cool for people who have way too many tabs, right? So that's new. But under this notification, they've started posting notifications about webinars. There's going to be a webinar.
That's cool.
I am led to believe there will be a webinar near the end of August. Hypothetically, it will be the August 29th morning hours.
Interesting.
If you're Pacific Standard Time. All about how to be. All about becoming a power user.
Would we happen to know somebody there?
You might know this one of the speakers. Hi.
I like that.
So
very cool.
Hopefully, I'm not spoiling secrets, but it's being planned. Power user.
Hey,
GitKraken. All the cool things.
I need more training to be a power user of GitKraken. There's too many areas. There's too many options. There's too many buttons.
If only you knew someone who could do that for you. If only.
I know, but I already take up so much of your time.
Wait, who let me name this ingest with a J? Hold up.
Did I do that? I mean, I guess I let you do it. I didn't intend to. I think you scrolled down too fast for me to see. That's what I'm gonna say.
Hold on.
That's your fault still.
Amend. Push. Force push. It never happened. You can't prove a thing.
I didn't see anything.
There is nothing there. Okay. Now that we've fixed that, F5. Hey, look at that. Let's go and look. I think we still have our little file in here.
Yeah, our baddie file.
Our little test one.
It's not that one though, because I thought it was that one. It's the J or Q one. No, DHQL.
Yep. Underscore DHQL. Because darn it, I took this and I just trimmed it shorter. So that's exciting.
Beautiful.
I'm realizing we probably should consider adding some amount of output to our little CLI app.
I mean, I guess we could.
We might.
Well,
we might want to indicate, hey, I'm processing this file. Yeah. I'm at file 1 out of 90, 3 out of 90.
I mean, it's fair, Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay, full send.
You're not wrong. Just run it.
Crashes immediately. See, this is the pipeline work we are all here for. This is how pipelines work. You start red, things go poorly, and then they go green.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Workflow doesn't recognize name value var. Isn't that how you do vars?
It is, but did you use the wrong name? KibuBot endpoint.
I copied these. Is this the right context?
That's true.
GitHub actions, variable context. Yes, hang on. See, I know the terms. I know the right things to search. This is why I'm a certified one. Vars. See, I typed in var, not vars. See, why did you?
Vars.
See, you led me astray
because
again.
var.
Don't worry.
I blame poor naming. I bore poor.
The C# in me wanted to use var, and it bit me. Okay. See.
I repeat, it's like nothing ever happened. What are you talking about? We can even delete this run. Nobody will ever see it.
That's a good point. Push the delete button.
I think we have to go up a level. Yep. There you go.
I see nothing.
What workflow
I see nothing. Yeah. This is going to be the only pipeline that goes green first try, right?
I also want to really quickly point out, maybe you noticed it as well. Go to a secondary screen and press Control V and look at your paste bin or your clipboard.
My extra thing on here. This is okay. This isn't a secret.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Dory, I cleared secrets before I did that.
Why?
That's not a secret. It's a value that is stored inside the JavaScript on a forward-facing customer web page. If you watch prior streams, you might be able to guess what the web page is.
Project file does not exist.
So I referenced you incorrectly. AI KibuBot ingest. Well, let's just check. AI KibuBot ingest. I mean, I know I'm an idiot, but
I feel like that looks correct to me.
I mean, hold on, I'm an idiot, so let's go here. Oh, spot the bug.
Is it the slashes?
Yeah, because we switched to Ubuntu.
It's always the slashes.
We switched to Ubuntu from Windows, which meant when I left the old slashes in, I got screwed. Okay.
Yep.
So once again, like it never happened, like it never happened.
Really, the only downside is that we can't reset the number unless we create a new one.
That's a good point. I don't care. I don't care. Let's see. There. You know what? I have been using this file too much. It's getting pinned. I think that's important. And you know what? While that's thinking, well,
we went yellow.
We went yellow, which means it's actually going to run for a second. Okay. So while that's doing that, I'm going to go add just a little bit of logging to this. Just a little bit.
That's I like it. That's wise.
Also, right line. Processing file, and let's do. Actually, let's just bring down here.
Well, and shouldn't we just put that inside of the method?
I guess
Because then it'll run here and it'll run every time for every file that we run on.
I was worried that I was going to do it here, but I guess I'm outputting file full name there, so it doesn't really matter, right? Yeah. So how about we rename this to ingest with a G?
Beautiful. Maybe an ingest complete.
I am realizing that we screwed up our code, so it's not going to work. So, you know, there's that file bug there that once again you let me write. So I'm holding you personally responsible.
Hey, I'm here with AI stuff. You're here with C#, sir. I blame you on that one. I'm not an MVP. Yet. Okay. Someday, when I'm as cool as you.
See the stack of empty Mountain Dew cans I have next to me. Kind of ridiculous. To be fair, it's multiple days worth, but.
Do you build castles out of them, or like at least pyramids? I mean, come on.
I should find at a prior employer. I actually have a picture of me sitting at my desk with a Mountain Dew can pyramid that I built. Hey, JC, good morning. It was, I think it's 6 levels high, and I think the base was like 5 by 7.
That's a pretty significant.
It was big. And it took a while to build, let's be clear. And then one fateful day, a colleague came in with a remote control helicopter, attempted to land on it, when another colleague came in with an air cannon and attempted to shoot the helicopter out from the tower. And needless to say, at that point, there was a loud
all gone
of the cans falling to the ground.
Yeah. Oh man, that's fun.
Yeah. So that was exciting.
You'll have to definitely find that picture at some point.
I don't have a picture of that particular moment, but I definitely have a picture of
the pyramid in you.
Me. Yeah.
Yes.
The important part. Yeah. So this thing should have failed. What did this thing fail? Let's see. Unable to find. Oh.
It wasn't able to find that exact package.
I know why.
Preview?
It's preview, and more importantly, part of one of the things that my template sets up is it sets up the nightly feed to the .NET libraries, and without said nightly feed, it going to find it.
No worky.
Yes, so that's going to be a problem. So we're just gonna slap that sucker in there, and then we are going to real quick come in, because if you do this, you should absolutely do package source mapping. This is something everyone should do, as it helps mitigate potential supply chain attacks. Though I have NuGet or Star, so it's like it's not it. This setup isn't a great security.
It doesn't keep you from shooting yourself in the foot. It just allows you the ability to keep from shooting yourself in the foot.
Correct. Let's see. Adding NuGet source commit push. Sorry, I didn't force push this one. Okay. I know. We'll let the pipeline show a little bit of realness of it dying.
You already pushed. I was gonna say we should add a counter to the full send one as well.
We don't know how many files there are though. Do we care? We could.
Don't, but we could know.
Fine, I'll add a counter.
Hey, you started the logging path. That was not me that started this, sir.
Like the problem is the way we've set this up, right? Like I only pass the file info in, so this thing knows about the current file. It doesn't actually know the full progress, right? So there's.
Well, no, we do it at this level. We're not passing it. We're not doing it at the method level. We do the count here and give a count, and then each time it enumerates through each for each loop.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I think this thing has a. I'm realizing I should probably do this, right? Markdown files, right? There. Now I have a count. Let's see. Markdown files. There. And then you want to do it at the beginning or the end? I'm thinking what we do is we go
we do it at the beginning.
Completed.
Because we have. Oh, okay. You want to do completed as instead of remaining?
Oh, well, I was gonna do of, right?
That works.
Something like
I like
this.
that.
Markdown files. Length.
I just find that, whenever there's logging, it tells you how many things have completed, but it doesn't tell me how many things there are in total. That's what kills me.
Yeah, no, I get that. That makes sense. Int file count 0. Or would you prefer I started at 1 and postfix the indent?
Ooh.
Do you care? Because I could do.
No, I'm fine with either one.
I don't know.
Whatever makes you comfortable.
Let's see. See the chat. I like Markdown. For me, I like to store a lot of my AI output in an MD. I bought it. It's quite useful. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, definitely a great format for it. I would agree.
You have something public you can share? Freedom Dale? I think I got that right. Okay.
I think it's pronounced Dow.
Oh, thank you.
But I could be wrong.
You're probably more right than I am. Adding more logging.
Because Casey is a terrible person. I know.
I wasn't going to say it out loud, but yes.
I'll say it for you. I'll say it for you, brother.
Okay. This time, this one goes green.
I think we've got a good chance of this one being green. Unless there's another C# issue,
Oh, wow. Yeah, so Freedom Dale's got GitHub link or GitHub ID as well as. Okay, now I have to go look.
Yeah.
Now I have to go look.
Let us see.
Dang.
Oh,
hello. You are not joking about your contributions. So I am noticing something happened in March.
I mean, something happened the last 5 months. You doing?
Unfortunately, got hacked in March. Ah, that moved all code to GitLab. Got it. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's tough.
That's pretty cool. This is pretty slick.
Bark AI voice. I am unfamiliar with Bark AI.
Well, you earned yourself a follower, or at least I will take it.
You have earned 2 once I get on my own GitHub.
Details. Well, we failed in 9 seconds. That's a plus. Okay, what did we do wrong here? Unable to find. I'm sorry, what? Didn't we just fix this?
Did we fix it in the wrong file?
I'm wondering if I grabbed the wrong commit. Let's just check commit hashes real quick. 2DA69D. 2DA69D. No, it's got the right commit hash. What did I do? Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I think I got.
Tell me about it.
Well, so my NuGet config is here, which is down a level from where it's not in the directory hierarchy. Yeah, no problem, Freedom. Like that, it still looks like some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so the issue is the NuGet config wasn't in the directory hierarchy of the AI folder, so it's not going to get picked up. So we're going to move it up to the root where it probably should have been in the first place.
Ah, yes.
Let's see. Move NuGet config up. At some point, I should probably do a big bang refactor on this repository. The only thing I'm hesitant to do is change the path to the subtitles folder because I have links back to those markdown files on every one of my YouTube videos. And I've got an app that can go through and update that, but ugh.
Still ugly.
Learning that a lot now. Oh, cool.
Sweet.
Because I'm guessing, Freedom, you come from, it looked like a bit of a Python background, perhaps, from what I saw. Which I think is somewhat common in a lot of the AI namespace or AI work area.
Absolutely. PHP, Python, and JavaScript. Nice. Are you familiar at all with semantic kernel? Freedom?
I got you. I got you. I'm way ahead of you. I'm going. Ah, boom.
But it's the wrong one. That's kernel memory. That's all C#. We need semantic kernel.
See, I'm on it. I'm on it.
There we go. Semantic kernel, though, Freedom, you should definitely check out because they've got both C#, Java, or all three C#, Java, and Python libraries that they've built out for orchestration of LLMs. Pretty cool stuff. They do a lot of work with it. It's open source, but also managed by Microsoft. So it's got some pretty good support, and a lot of thought has gone into it. Same with kernel memory, though, as well. And actually, I don't know if you track Kevin on LinkedIn, but they announced another open source project related to AI coming out of Microsoft with company backing. And I'm gonna have to look at what it was called because I just saw it an hour or two before we jumped on here. But Devis also announced that, so I'm assuming he's involved maintaining that as well.
Because what he needed was another AI project to maintain.
Another beautiful project that makes my life easier. Semantic Workbench. Yeah. I have not dug into it at all. I know functionally nothing other than it's related to managing agents, AI agents.
Yes, so that was their big thing at Build this year too, was pushing AI agents quite heavily.
It looks like, and cross orchestration. So semantic kernel or LangChain agents. And it looks like it's Python. So that's cool. Python and C#.
Yeah, I mean, GitHub's analysis of it is C# is about yay big.
Yeah, very minimal.
Yeah.
And yeah, Freedom, totally agree with you on loving these things being free and open, these ideas and like all the work that's gone into it. I think it's really cool to see that Microsoft has continued to support the kind of open source initiative for a lot of things. I think it's just so informative of like their culture, at least their modern, newer culture, as opposed to the way that they used to be.
And yeah, good to hear on the format of the stream too. Yeah, I very much prefer when I can stream with people rather than by myself. It's just that sometimes finding the second person is not as trivial as one would like. I am mildly confused in that it ran.
That's usually a something to be happy about and excited about, not confused. So what's the confusion, Kevin?
It ran and got no output. Do you see output?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. That is fair. That is a little bit strange.
Hold on. What code path gets me through this without any output? If this doesn't find any files, but the directory exists.
And it didn't get the file name. Because it would have had to drop out of file name, and we supplied a file name.
Because if
so it didn't get our file name, and the directory it believes it looked through is empty.
So here's what we're going to do. When in doubt, we do this, right? So we copy this, copy this, and I can just straight run this from the directory, right? But I'm going to run it from the root to match, because obviously that's not the right API key. However, I should get something more along the lines of, I don't know, unauthorized. Well, good news, it reproduces. Which means I botched something.
What? How did we screw up this bad?
No, we didn't screw up this bad. I'm firmly blaming a certain individual.
Oh, now you're taking the blame.
No, not taking the blame, assigning the blame. Manline args paste. Okay, so we want, I don't need all this stuff, right? This is going to run from a working directory that is down. So this is going to run from down in here. So I'm going to need to go up 1, 2.
2. Yeah.
So 1, 2. When this happens to me, I blame the wind.
And since
yeah, I can understand that. API key endpoint. Okay, we're good. Oh.
What is it?
I have okay, I'm going to run this and then I'm going to tell you, because I'm guessing theory this is going to work great. I don't understand why it wouldn't have thrown this though. Oh, okay. So hold on. I'm going to set the right startup project. Then I'm going to run it.
That would help.
Okay, so directory does not exist. Do you see it yet?
The extra quotes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I freaking hate. This is so annoying. Right? Because now, you know what? There's no spaces. I'm going to do this. So working theory, the way you quote things is different between Bash and PowerShell.
That is accurate.
Let's see. Directory does not exist. I'm sorry, what?
Wait, hold on. .NET 8. Is its working directory in? Yeah. I was just gonna say.
I need 3 more, don't I? 1, 2.
In this case,
3.
yes.
Okay.
Magic number.
There we go. So file name comes through, looks correct. Directory full name looks correct.
Yep.
URI failed to parse. Failed to parse the URI as a URI.
I mean, it's not a pretty URI, but I'm pretty sure that's a URI.
Hold on. C# interactive. Hold on, your head's in the way. I gotta make this taller. New URI. Right. What is the bloody namespace for this? This is the problem with system URI is the right one, and I would like to copy. Oh, it's only on my terminal, isn't it? Yeah. So if we come back here and do C# interactive, new system URI.
What? Hello?
Uh,
What? System.private. This type has been forwarded to assembly system.private.uri.
Consider adding a reference. What the heck?
Now, Kevin, you're gonna have to tell me about this one. I'm unfamiliar with system.private.
Yeah, so am I. I don't have a good explanation for why this is happening. My best theory is that because I'm on preview builds and yeah, so Okay, so let's do this one more time, but we're gonna try this slightly differently. Immediate window. Var foo gets new URI. Hey, look, now it found it. What a shock. Foo is not a valid format specifier. Just okay. See, that parses as a URI.
That makes sense.
Interesting. We're going to do this. And we're going to do this.
Also,
Hey, Deflux. Well, aside from being confused by how C# works and how C# interactive works, it's going great.
Again, system.private. I just don't know that one. It's a new library to me.
Base address is now properly set. Okay, so this goes, right? It kids this, finds this, steps in here, outputs, right? We should get some sort of like permission denied something or another. We got an ingesting file and then exited with code 0. Do you use OpenTelemetry? I have.
We actually we had somebody write about do a blog on OpenTelemetry not too long ago. I think it was Joseph. I think it's from the context of Python, but I think we did have a recent blog about it.
Hang on.
Observing Python. There we go. OpenTelemetry metrics.
We'll go ahead and plug Joseph's blog.
Heck yeah.
I also have used it quite a bit in the context of .NET Aspire because it leverages OpenTelemetry for a lot of its stuff as well. Okay, so that...
Does the world make sense again, no, Kevin?
I mean, hang on. So we posted it, and we didn't do anything with the response. So,
wow, we
are batting a batting 1,000 tonight. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we are. Man.
Okay.
But at least we're having a good time, right?
I mean, I'm having a good time. I don't know about you.
I mean, I'm having a good time for about another ounce of Mountain Dew, and then I'm going to need another one. So
I did not get the response. Okay. Step. And it fails.
With any nope, just a lot of nothing.
Just a What?
Wait. Ensure. No, 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 no. Go back down. Ensure success status code. Right.
Yeah.
This will be failing because we don't have the API key.
Yeah, but let me just show you one real quick thing. See that breakpoint we didn't hit?
Yeah, no, that's fair. What?
Yeah, so there's the confusion point number 1 for me.
Have we set our headers properly? Did we do that above?
So I think so, but we only set user agent and authorization header. Now we set the authorization header to ****, which is probably not. It's probably not great.
But again, that should only be an issue with the authorization, though. It does feel weird though that we broke there.
I'm an idiot. A freaking
Tell
idiot.
me more.
A freaking idiot. Okay. So this is a good spot the bug problem, right? So let's talk through this. So what we know.
All right.
We are executing this set action. We are very confident it is walking through here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get all the way down to the first await that actually is doing asynchronous stuff, right? Most, like this await is kind of superfluous because we're going into the method, right? We haven't actually gotten the methods returned for this await to do anything. We get down to the very first await, and then our program immediately terminates and we never hit the next line. What is the obvious explanation or the most likely explanation? Guesses. Here's a hint. I'm highlighting the word.
Yeah. That post async's not actually async.
No, it is. It is async. It is async. And it looks like we properly awaited everything, doesn't it? What if I told you we haven't?
I would ask where.
The lambda. If we look at set action. Look at that. See that? See that? See where it says, oh, hang on.
I do see that async there. That beautiful, beautiful async.
And more importantly, that teeny little word that says action, not funk of task. You think that has anything to do with it? Oh my.
It might.
Oh my word. Yeah. What did I can't believe I screwed this up. I remember thinking to myself, I've botched this on my thing. I should go and fix it. Okay, so here is the kicker. To get the funk of task, we need a lambda that takes in a cancellation token. So why didn't we just change?
Yay.
So
my cancellation token. Yeah.
Now, look at that funk of task.
What do you know?
Garbage. We should forward it down. If we're gonna have one, we might as well use it. Right?
Yeah.
Let's. Oh man. Okay.
It's the stupid little things. It always is.
Yes, but the key lesson there is if your code appears to stop or jump away when you hit an await like that, start looking for an async void. And it'll either be an async void on a method or it'll be hidden from you in a lambda.
That's a good point.
I was actually talking with somebody the other day. I'm going to go remove it. Try catch. Oh, now it's actually going. Right, see, now it's not immediately stopping. So that somewhat explains what happened to us. Still don't know why we didn't see any console output on the other one. I think it's going to be the quoting problem. I'm going to kill this now so that we have that figured out and clean this up. I was actually talking to somebody the other day that got bit by an async void. And in his specific case, the issue was not understanding that lambdas, what is the right term? Is it inferred type? Implicit type? I'm trying to remember the exact terminology.
Depends on the context.
Yeah, you can't tell what the return type of a lambda is without looking at where it's applied. So sometimes with Python, it doesn't give output. Not sure why.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to our thingy here. Working theory is that here's the next problem that I have. This is going to work, kind of. And then it's going to fail. Actually, you know what we should do? We should do this, and then we should do what is the shell's defaults? Because you can set the
Oh, yeah. Shells, it defaults to bash. We could go to core. Is that what
I
you're
want to go
thinking?
PowerShell core on it, and then that way I don't have to
Yeah.
fight with what it's going to be.
Yep. Makes sense.
My mouse is acting real
Makes
twitchy.
sense.
I always have to go look this up because I know this is one of those things. Is I know what's there. I don't remember my syntax. This. I want this. Give me that line. That way, no thinking, and now it runs all of my stuff on PowerShell core, and now I have some level of consistency regardless of what my runner is. Okay. Okay. Rinse, repeat. Mixing all of the WAT. Okay. And while that, what? Why?
It's just I randomly scroll LinkedIn sometime. I went to grab the semantic workbench or remember what that was, and I found a article that was linked that has some really cool visuals on embeddings.
Yeah.
That I will share in the chat here momentarily.
Oh, I am very sorry, Deflux. Yeah, I completely can understand. Man, my cursor keeps disappearing, and it's because I did the Control 4. So it's there, but it's also not there. Let's see. Because I mentioned WAT, I must consider this like after this stream is over. Go watch that. That is a few minutes of your life. Don't be drinking anything when you watch it. You'll probably spit it out laughing. That's the warning I'm going to give. How to tell them to not do async void. I think the biggest argument so async void does have one legitimate use case. It is for event handlers, typically like button clicks or similar. Because at some point, something at the very top has to actually be able to do await stuff. But most frameworks, especially modern ones, like you aren't usually writing like events have kind of dropped off in necessity in a lot of cases because we've now gotten better APIs to kind of chain things together and do that kind of processing where it's async all the way up, right? Usually you get all the way to main before you have to do the equivalent of, awaiting the last thing, right? And even then, Microsoft lets you do a task-based main, and then it worked.
Huzzah!
Because Microsoft will let you do a task-based main and then kick off going and doing all of that stuff. So it's like, even then, so it's rare to need it. There are, again, I hedge a little bit because I do a lot of thick client development where occasionally you do need to have a button click and occasionally you need it async. It's just, if the moment you do async void, you have to be real careful about exceptions because in most frameworks and runtimes, if async void throws an exception, it bubbles up to the unhandled exception handler and then your app crashes and you're just done. Straight up. I say most because I discovered recently that's not true in Maui in all cases, and it bothers me, and I do not like it. Yeah, that's the right face, Casey. That is the right face.
What?
Yeah.
It's not in Maui?
Not, I don't want to say not, it is not always the case in Maui. Specifically, main thread, invoke on main thread, async void delegates. Yeah. I got hosed by it. and I couldn't figure out why my code wasn't working, and it was because there was an exception, and it didn't.
So just another reason why Maui just doesn't quite feel like the framework you want to use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you seeing this?
Am I seeing what?
Screen was very much flickering. I think it's back.
Oh no. I saw a black screen for a second.
My thing went crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna try something crazy. I'm pretty sure it fails. I don't think this works when we run without it. The reason I say I don't think it works is because of the way we've declared it in our .NET run command. I don't think it's going to play nice because we're going to end up with the dash file name
and empty. Yeah.
It might be okay. Maybe.
Might be smart enough to handle that as a non-existing.
Well, I want to see if we start getting it. Okay, so file not found. File blank. Yeah, so it's going to end up landing on something, which is, I think we need to make this thing.
Did we do null or we need to do null or empty?
Yeah, we need to make this mildly more interesting. I'm gonna be. We're gonna do that.
Yep.
Just to clean that up. Let's see. More tolerant of missing file name. I was actually questioning if we were going to need to do an if condition and split the run command based upon the presence of the input parameter or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe. Man, I need to figure out how to fix that issue with Zoom it. It really
the old missing cursor.
Yeah, well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn off the shortcut because right now my cursor only exists on my main monitor. If I move my cursor off my main monitor, it disappears. I don't have a cursor on my other screens, which is fine as long as I leave it here. It's going to be a real problem the moment I move something off.
Yeah, as long as you don't need
as long as I don't need to like
to go check an API key again.
Hypothetically.
Well, what do you know? Look at that.
We are processing. Okay.
And if you look at that speed, that's relatively quick, and we haven't even gone to like full parallelism. We're not fully batching this.
No. I need my database. Why am I blanking? It's the elephant. What is the elephant called?
pgadmin.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Elephant. I need my elephant.
Don't worry, Kevin. You will soon not forget pgadmin because Postgres will become your favorite database. I promise you.
I will wait patiently, or we can
happen.
This thing over. Like, okay, so let's see. Do you remember my server and my auth? Oh, you do. Okay. Let's see. This was view first 100. It's probably good enough. Okay, so it is still processing, but we've got 4 in here so far. Because I think the API replies.
The completed. Yeah.
The API replies back with a 200 as soon as it's done receiving the file, not as soon as it's done processing the file, right?
And it might, is it a 200 or is it a 201?
This is actually, okay, I'm now questioning how well this is working because these are dupes. Because remember our document IDs?
But go to.
Oh, no, they aren't dupes. This is 2.
They are dupes. They are dupes, though.
Oh, you are
2
right.
and 3 are the same, 1 and 4 are the same.
Yeah.
Go to, okay, so this is all that single file. Is this your?
Let's go. Wow, that thing's cruising. Let's go look at the logs, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what the server is doing. I would like to see the bot. Where is my why do I can't
yes, trying to find the logs again. I remember this game.
Yes, hang on. We go here, console log stream, we go here, and we go connecting, and we go lots of stuff.
Looks like some errors to me.
Let's see. Stop streaming. Processing failed. Putting message back in queue. Okay, so the 200 response is probably status code 429.
I mean, I guess we were hitting it a lot, but like, is that so? That's on the embeddings. It's going to be your rate limiting. I think it's going to be your rate limiting on the embeddings API.
Well, so here's my thing though. If this is rate limited, which is fine, right? Like I expect that is acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, it does process these, right? These are all sitting in the queue waiting to be processed.
Yeah.
So this guy has now finished sending up all 184 files.
They should all be in the queue.
They should all be in the queue. And at some point,
we can actually check that if we go into the storage account and we can look at the files that are created as the high watermark.
Okay.
And status.
Stand by while I attempt to get my cursor onto the right thing. Suck. Yeah, this is real. Not having a cursor is real annoying. Yeah. Let me assure you. Okay, so if we go to the storage account, put that up here, and we go to the queues.
No, go into containers.
And then
the queue is handled in memory right now. We haven't changed that. We can, but I think it's going to be Kaboot. What? Default.
Yeah.
Yep. And then each one of your files, you go in there and you'll have the breakdowns. For those of you that weren't here last week or the week before, as it goes through, it breaks all these down and gives you intermediate steps and processes these files. So you'll end up with an embedding for each one, a partition for each one that contains the contents of that step. So yeah, we can see that not all of those have embeddings though. That's really what I was looking for. So you can see some of them have made it through the embedding step and some of them have not.
Yeah, and so the fact that
extract, partition and embeddings.
So, and that's probably why we ended up blowing through our rate limit so quickly, because we set the files up, it 200 responsed okay. Our thing then promptly continued on its merry way and just kept sending more files up, which means it then started processing the second file while the first one was still in progress. So points awarded, my little container app was perfectly happy to accept all 184 and keep on a chugging.
Heck yeah.
So
I mean, the little puppy should still be running things. He's trying his hardest, you know.
I mean, so if we start the logs again, right, and I'm gonna clear out what's there, we should start picking something up here in a moment. Yeah, so we are getting a lot of 429s coming through.
Well, and it's because it's just continuing to retry all of them over and over and over because they're all sitting in the queue. So it's pushing them back into the queue, trying, failing on 99% of them, and then trying again and then trying again.
Yeah, I'm wondering because we have an endpoint for checking status, don't we?
We do, yes, the health endpoint.
Let's go here because we could do this. I'm wondering if maybe we should make our app invoke this guy. Because what does he need? Well, health is just a health endpoint, right? Service is running. Yeah. Great. I
So we could do a status. Are you looking for the status upload status one where we grab the
Oh
status
yeah, upload
ID?
status. That's
Yep.
exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Thank you. So as
Yes,
long as
sir.
I have the document ID and the index, which the index is obvious, the index is default because we hard coded that, right? So that's
Well, and I mean, we could continue down this path. We can check the status, and we can. I mean, it wouldn't be bad to check the status in general.
I'm just wondering if maybe we should slow our thing down so that it can finish a file before it moves on to the next one.
Why though? Why don't we just increase the rate limit on the embeddings endpoint? Because I'm almost certain that's where we're actually failing. It's because it's trying to hit it too many times in a row.
Okay, so you just want to turn the dial up.
Oh yeah, up to 11.
I don't know if 11's enough. We might need more. We sent in 184 files.
Okay, so to 184.
So this is AI Studio, right? Because this is the rate limit was inside of our deployment, if I remember correctly.
That is correct.
Because each deployment has its own endpoint. Is that the right word to call it?
It's got its own endpoint and it's got its own model endpoint, I guess, is what I would probably state it as. But I actually know deployment endpoint. But yeah, we can increase or decrease the rate limiting on each one of these.
Tokens per minute. So I do this.
I think you're gonna need to go higher.
I think I have a maximum that I can't go higher on.
Oh wait. Sorry, I was looking at the lower number, and that's requests per minute. I was thinking 300 tokens per minute is definitely not enough. No.
Well, requests per minute though, we're gonna hit it with. I mean, okay, let's just do this. Let's go like 150. If I remember right though, my AI instance isn't set for that big.
I think it is. The problem we had before was because we were consuming all of the total rate you had available to you with one of the models and not leaving enough to use it on the other model.
Got it. Okay. Let's clear this. We'll wait for this thing to catch back up.
Yeah, I don't know how long it'll take that change to take effect, the change in the rate limit.
Well, and this thing could be a little slow on the console logging out on these things.
Yeah.
There's a small delay in it as well. It's not much. Well, then,
I think this is the perfect time. I'm going to go get another Mountain Dew. I will be back momentarily.
You do that. I'm going to double check a few things while you head there, because I'm curious when we see this thing go. Because this isn't going to happen until we get a whole file through. I want to see vectors, darn it. Clear. Try again in 4 seconds. I want to see if this thing has any information about where. Let's see here. Is there auditing on this sucker? I think there should be something in here, and this is infrastructure level. That doesn't make sense, but I want to metrics. Azure OpenAI requests. So short version, last 30 minutes, apply. Is there? Yeah, so the thing basically cranked up and then shot through the roof at like 1,000 requests. I
heard 1,000 requests. Ooh, look at that graph.
Yeah. So this is our OpenAI service. I went and pulled metrics. So this is OpenAI requests coming through. So
look at that throughput, baby.
Well, that's requests. So I'm looking to see process fine tune. I was hoping to see something around rate limits. Let's just So rate limit 600 of them so far, and these might be.
Wait, is rate limit is rate limit what we think it is, or is you just
I think it's.
yep, it
I
is
think it's
what
four.
it's
I
what
think
you
it's.
think it is. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's 429s coming back. Let's see. Total calls. Oh, so
2,200 calls.
Do you send metrics directly from, say, a WPF app directly to Azure Metrics, or go to your own API and pass through to Insights? I guess I'd say it depends in both at the same time. So I can give a couple examples. So one project I worked on, thick client WPF desktop application, goes straight to App Insights. There's not the API key or the connection string, if you're using the newer style for application insights, is kind of public. Typically, though, people will separate and do a separate application insights instance for forward-facing things and non-forward-facing things. So it's not uncommon to have one for like your client desktop applications and website as one ingestion endpoint, and then a separate one for like your back-end services and that kind of stuff to go into, because your front-end one, in theory, somebody could grab that and spam it. They can't do anything but add a bunch of bad logs to you, but they can mess with your telemetry stuff. There has been a request out there on Application Insights for a while to allow for what is the strategy that they had? It's almost like a reverse proxy for doing the ingestion. Be able to push it through. And honestly, the people who've been most concerned about bad data coming in oftentimes hide application insights inside of their own API service. And then their API service can do whatever needed authentication is necessary and then pass it through.
Yeah.
So oftentimes that's where things end up going. Okay, the good news is we top out here. So, and I'd say we've done both, and I think it really depends on the project. I don't know if there's a right answer for everybody, because sometimes the easiest thing, in my opinion, is just to have the client send direct to App Insights. But some people get twitchy about it being spammed with bad data. I don't know as if I've seen a lot of instances where that's actually occurred. Like, because that is an attack vector. The attacker doesn't gain anything unless it's messing with you. So it's
it would only be supplementary to something else to hide some other behavior or such.
Yeah.
It by itself is not terrible.
Okay.
Not dangerous.
So this here, like, we're still getting it, but once it finishes a file, right? Like, I realize it's gonna be cranking them all in.
There we go.
They are making through. They are making it through now. So something made it in. We got a new one in. Dang nabbit. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, right? The small one finished. The small one's in the data set of the corpus of the whole directory.
Yeah.
So the fact that we got it yet one more time is not overly shocking as the first one to finish.
Yeah.
But if that's how long it takes the little one to get through, it's going to take this a while. How bad is it that I have duplicated embeddings here?
Oh, we'll want to clean that up.
Okay.
Because you'd end up with similarity searches. So if you were to ask, in this specific case, our question from before, you would get two of the same embeddings, the two that were, because
they're going to come back
data that are the closest.
Right. Yeah. They're both, their relevant scores are going to be almost identical, if not exactly identical, right?
They should be exactly identical. I mean, it feels non-deterministic to our feeble human brains, but it is deterministic. They should come back with the exact same embedding and the exact same similarity score based on cosine distance.
Okay, so let me so humor me then real quick, right? So 4 and 5, same content, right?
Same content.
I then expect that all of these vectors have identical data in them.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching as you've been going through, and they all look the same to me.
Okay. I'm just looking. For some reason, I thought I had seen something different, but now that I've selected them, I'm not seeing one. So I'm gonna go
It's
with my
probably because your eyes caught between the like 3 and 4 or 1 and 2, which would
probably.
be different. Yeah. But yeah,
Okay,
no.
fine. You're right. They do look the same
Don't worry.
based
Don't
on
worry.
random sampling.
We still live in a deterministic world. It's okay.
Computers still do my bidding rather than the other way
Yes.
around.
For now.
For now. Okay. So, okay, if that worked to get that through, and it did take a minute. How badly is this about to blow my Azure spend?
It won't, because it's per token. No matter what, it'd be spending the
It's
exact
same
same
number of
amount.
tokens.
From
I'm
my
just gonna spend
understanding.
it rapidly rather than slowly.
Exactly. So for things like this, you could almost decide, I'm going to do a big upload. I'm going to actually automate this to turn up my rate limit while I'm doing this. And then when I go back to answering simple questions on the internet, I turn it back down.
Got it. Well, but this is just the embedding one, right? Like,
you still have to run embeddings on the other side, though. That's how you use similarity.
Right. Okay. You're right. Yes. I don't know if I like the new look yet. Oh, wait. This one has metrics. I immediately love it. I immediately love it. I immediately love it. Requests per minute.
20K. Woohoo!
Gas pedal to the metal. Hold on.
Oh, hold on. Do you want to do some quick calculations of how much this is going to cost? Now that I see the number of tokens, I'm actually a little bit afraid, but really it's not that bad.
Let's put it this way. How many digits?
Oh, I mean, it's going to be like a couple bucks.
Oh, then that doesn't matter.
Let's run the calculations, though. We can go find the pricing on this, and we've got the exact number of tokens, which is awesome.
Total token count. Well, I mean, we don't have an exact, but yeah, 662K, right?
Yeah.
So,
and we know all the pricing is like sub 1 cent per 1,000 requests.
Per 1,000 requests, or
per token? Per 1,000 tokens. Sorry, per 1,000 tokens.
Sorry, and I need to remember what bloody model we're actually using for this, right?
This should be Ada 2 embeddings.
Is that what we picked? I don't remember.
Text embeddings, Ada 2. I see that I'm pointing at the screen as you're not able to see where I'm pointing. Yeah.
So
that would actually be a cool. Ooh.
Sorry,
how could we build functionally a laser pointer for me, so I can point at things on your screen? We have that already.
Yeah, we kind of have that already.
I just don't know how you're doing the streaming on your side, so I don't know.
I don't know what's going to happen with my missing cursor if I turn it on for you. It's the problem.
Oh, yeah, fair.
We will try it for next time. How about that?
Yeah, no. I think it'd be cool to be able to do that.
I agree, because that, like, I actually want it to watch your camera and follow your point. That would be cool.
I know, right? It'd be fun.
That would be even cooler. Okay, why do I not see?
You got to go down. That's language models, legacy language models. You're going to have embedding models. There we go. Ada.
So I have 1/10,000th of a penny.
Per 1,000.
Per 1,000. So I have that times.
We're not even dollars. I totally miscalculated that. They've also reduced the prices on these.
If I've done this, if I've done my math correctly, I'm at somewhere in the order of 67 cents, depending on how we round this.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
I think, Casey, I'm willing to cover the cost of this.
Whew, I was worried. I was gonna bring out the credit card. I was gonna tell you, I'm sorry, I blew through all your Azure spend. Here's like another 150 Azure bucks. You can use my Azure spend.
Well, here's the good news. Our call count,
no more calls.
Our call count has gone down, which means if I click here, this is about to be big list, right?
I think so.
Nope, not a big list.
No, because it's got a save. So it's gotten the embeddings. Now it's pushing into Postgres. Because just by getting the embeddings, it doesn't hit Postgres.
But shouldn't I be seeing something come in here?
wait, hold on.
When I
Go back to your.
I mean,
Go back to
this
your.
is total
This
calls.
is total calls to the embeddings model, right?
This is OpenAI. Hold on, maybe we should go here and look at the metrics here, because there's a difference between. How do I? Problem is that this is not real. This is not the metric I want to see. I want to see.
You want embeddings token.
Yeah, this is. I said I like this, and now I'm not sure I do. Let's see. So if we do this, hang on, go up here real quick. Do they have live metrics on this guy? That's really what I want. I want live metrics. Something raw, something fast. No, they don't appear to have that.
Nope.
So we can go count, right? So we did, I'll dial this into the last 30 minutes so it's faster, right? So we went boom, right? So we were cruising along. We topped out at around 2.3 in a little bit. An OpenAI request. I guess we could come back over here to our logs.
Yeah.
The last thing shown here is
clear and start. You're not started. Yeah. Replica not found.
Oh, did it already scale down? Oh, it finished and scaled to 0.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it already scaled itself down.
Then we should see things in your database.
But
let's go back to the database.
Run the thingy. Because what confuses me is the code worked once.
So hold on. This is you do only have, go up to your schemas, right click and refresh for me.
Right click and refresh.
Okay. Scroll down a little bit. I just want to make sure. Yeah. We're still in there. It's still KM default. We've rerun this.
I mean, I can.
Let's go look at the logs on your database.
Gonna make sure I'm not getting. Okay. Where do you want to go for that? Inside or outside?
Let's go outside first. Let's see what we've got on Azure.
Okay. Let's see. Back up here. Go to database. Go to something here maybe, or do you want to look at like server logs?
Let's see what they've gotten. You have to enable them. Yeah.
So what I heard is worthless at the moment.
Yeah, I would concur.
Kind of want to know if there is classic finite Azure metrics, blah blah blah. That's not really what I want. What I want to know is no tables to display. So that's not useful. I'm willing to bet because I don't have any diagnostic settings, it's not capturing.
We're probably not going to get anything. Yeah. No, that's fair.
So no bueno. We could come in here and look at where were we seen before? Because at one point in time we were looking at those Postgres connections and we were seeing bouncy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, our DB connection spiked a little bit, but this is like 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago.
And we're using,
We come in here, right?
Yeah. And that'll make sense. Because these wouldn't take long to save.
Yep.
Our throughput, our write throughput. So it's gone through a lot of write. Yeah.
Well, but let's back this up though, right? This is the last hour. Let's look at the last 12 hours. So
yeah,
sitting flat is 50, and then
we spike it.
We spike to double that.
Yeah.
But yet
we don't see anything in
we
there.
don't see anything in here. So something doesn't make sense to me. The part that baffles me the most is the fact that we got the small file through.
Well,
and I'm wondering so working theory. Let me try again with a single file, but let me try it with a big file, because I'm wondering, container apps have kind of a small memory cap. I'm wondering if we're
total though.
Yeah, but it's pretty small. So let's try it with one.
But the total size of the files, I mean,
I agree. It should it should be tiny. I want the path. I just want the bloody file name. You know how hard this is to do without a cursor?
It's so terrible because I can see your cursor.
Believe me. Like when I click, I'm watching my cursor jump and come back. It's real annoying.
I feel so bad.
It's real annoying. I need to go turn that feature off. I'd go do it now, except for I can't see my cursor to go click.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious what this does, because I have a sinking suspicion
that it's container app,
that it might be blowing itself out. I want to look. Man, the fact that I've seen my cursor move like that is real annoying. We could use the system log stream to verify this, because if it goes down from like an out of memory, you will get it here.
Okay.
Yep. So there's the request scheduled to run on a node, because this is just Kubernetes with a friendly face. Pulls the image. Container created. Container started. All right. So I want to see this guy roll and see what happens, because he might just walk right on through. And if he does, that makes me wonder if maybe what I should be doing is horizontally scaling this pod differently, right? Because because it's an in-memory queue, it's not going to horizontally scale itself out. But if I had it throw itself onto like a storage account queue, I could then have the queue processors register and scale on that, and then I could go right. And then even though I've got a small memory footprint, I've got a small memory footprint that only needs to do one thing at a time rather than trying to do all the things at once.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm
wondering
I think that's a great idea.
If that's potentially.
Plus, it gives us a chance to dig in a little bit more on kernel memory.
Yeah, which would be very interesting.
No events in the last 60 seconds.
Yeah, it just does that so you know your log is alive.
Yeah.
Which means it's chugging.
Go look at OpenAI.
The OpenAI you want to see here, or do you want to actually? Well, I guess we can look here, right? So
yes, this would be fine. Not there yet.
Yep, he's delayed. Tab. Get me back in, because I'm kind of curious to go here and console log stream. This guy claimed to have finished successfully. So he ran, but I'm not seeing logs here, which concerns me.
I agree.
I would have I don't know if we actually saw things when it was successful though, did we? I think we only saw things when it failed. Okay, so it may have done a thing. So it can clearly handle one file.
Yep.
but it may not be able to handle all the files all at once. So
that does seem to be the case.
So we could go stupid mode at first if we wanted to, and have our CLI app just wait before sending the next one, and have it pull. Or we could try to scale things out. Which way do you think we should go?
So, I say we scale. I think that we scale because it'll allow us to get through a full ingestion quicker, which means we'll be able to test further and then know if we need to make changes. In the long run, after you get through the initial ingestion, you don't really need it to scale huge. You could go back to single.
Yeah.
Choices.
Yeah.
You can also just limit the scaling because this will just still be using a queue.
That is true. That is true. Because when we push this guy up, let's go look at that guy real quick again. Yeah. Hush now. My bot. I want to look at the scaling rules that we have set. Scale rule. Oh, so he doesn't even have a scaling rule set on him yet. Oh. That's an interesting thing. I do not know how these custom rule types work.
I do not either. Completely unfamiliar with them.
I have a feeling these could be arbitrary endpoints, but that may be worth looking at, because, well, how would that work though? I don't know inside of kernel. Okay, let's go look at some code then.
So kernel memory.
Inside of kernel memory, we have this, right, where we are set up. Right, we've got our development.
Good job, you went to development.
Yeah, I had to think for a brief moment. I was like, I remember one of these I don't click on the stream. So we have this, right? How?
Yep. So we have an option for queues, queue type.
Right, but even if I put it into a queue type, how does it? I guess I'm curious, how does it register up its listener? Because the way I've done it before, I was using like the Azure Storage Account Queues SDK. I was effectively getting notified when there was an event on there, which was fine, right? Like I have a thing and I can scale up and do that. But do you know where this thing, like how?
Where it queues?
Yeah, or how? Which one of these handlers?
It's not in the handler. If you go down,
okay,
it's the ingestion orchestration type distributed orchestration. So let's go look at the queue types that are available to us.
Okay. So this is going to be here, right? And then I'm going to do
get the kernel. Yep.
Dang it.
Dash.
Is it?
You missed the dash. Yeah, you had it. You just missed the dash.
Couldn't remember what it was. Okay. So, and then where was I finding that?
So that you're going to go to docs, I think. And then
service maybe? Configuration. That's right. This is where we were getting bit before. Lack of
there we go. Lack of complete
documentation.
Ingestion handlers.
Yeah.
I think it goes to queue on this. Maybe it does not hit queue. Well, let me take a look, because Now it's just getting to me.
Yeah. Because it would be really great if it had, configuration quick start. This is just leveraging it. Don't need to leverage it yet. That's the easy part. Anyone can call a service. How to custom pipelines.
Azure queues.
Custom partitioning. Well, hey, we got something going. Partitioning, yeah, that's not exactly.
So you want to go to extensions,
okay,
and then go to Azure queues.
All right, am I an idiot? Extensions, then what?
I think you need a level higher. Extensions, not inside the docs.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I was really confused there. I'm like, I know I'm stupid, but
read me?
Not
okay. That wasn't as much as I was hoping it was.
Yeah. So, well, but hang on. If they've got the code, I can read code.
This is fair.
Let's see. Validate. This is all just the config. Queues pipeline. This is, well, let's look at dependency injection, see what they register it as. Add queues organization, queue factory. Okay, nothing special. Okay, so this bothers me. I don't like Hungarian notation. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. Let's see here. So we bring in the queue auth with various types. We build up a queue client. Again, this is what I expected to have to do myself, but they've clearly done some of this already. Right, so this pulls a queue client, connect to queue, create if not exist, DQ enabled, and then it pulls it back. So here's the thing that gets me, right, is we need a program that runs that then ingests these things. I think that means that what I would end up doing, because I'm not the one doing so unlike what we did in our API, right? Because in the API project, we had this where we could do like with Azure queues, right? And we were building up the kernel memory builder. In this library land that we live in, I don't build up the kernel memory builder. I am somewhat limited by what I can configure here, right?
I think that all that you'll need to configure will be in there. That's my theory.
So
we need to find the right incantations, obviously. But I believe that you'll be able to do everything that we need to do to connect to it and have it run through this. I could be wrong.
Because if I configure this with Azure queues, the main method that this thing has when he starts up, like it's a .NET web API. I guess that's the question. Does it run these queues as like a hosted service or something? Like the same instance could be picked up, because I could have it start scaling my container app based upon that queue size. That I know how to do.
I think it is
because
run as hosted services.
So
but I'm not 100% sure.
Because if that's the case, right? Like scaling, right? So if I go Azure queue, and I go Casey, right? Queue length. Once the queue length gets above 5 or whatever, right? Like 2, right? And I blow these suckers away.
It's definitely going to always be more than 2.
Well, but this is the point at where it should spin more instances, right? So effectively what I'm saying is my ramp is going to be real fast. I'm going to go from 0 to 10.
Oh, it's going to be real fast.
Very, very quickly, right? And we could even go as far as...
Should be pretty much instantly.
We could even go as far as doing something like this, right? Now, the problem is I just named the queue Casey, which...
Hey, it failed. Perfect.
But has a missing or invalid auth or identity property.
You didn't finish those. Yeah, you didn't finish those secret settings.
I don't know what this.
I think you can delete both of them. Oh, you can't delete one of them. Oh, okay. Yeah, that then I don't know either.
I might have to go and look because when I did
odd.
this before. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Screw that. I'll just show you what I did before.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of us has access to Developpack, right? So if we go here, is it actions? No, that's my custom actions. Container app queue processor. Right, so this is my thingy that does the queue processing. Get password. It gets the connection string for the queue, right? And then it does contain. Oh, that's the difference. Oh, this is interesting because I'm running as a container app job, not a container app. Those are slightly different.
Yeah.
Slightly different because this is what I had expected to be able to do. But in my case, the connection string, the secret value that it wants for the auth is going to be the connection string to the queue. So I would have to go and build that up. That's going to be... I don't know how to set this up. I'm trying to think now.
Isn't that the best though?
It is, but I'm trying to think. Like, we can make a queue. I can pull this thing through. Trying to look at what this is. And then this thing can scale and we can auth against it. But I don't know how to put... Well, I think as long as I make this thing from the command line, I almost want to just grab this whole file and bring it over. The problem is this has like managed identity and other stuff all tied into this that would need to be set up as well. So it's not as...
I'm looking through some other stuff.
It's not as simple as one would think. In the interest of making this thing go, let's have the... While we look at this, let's just make our ingest be patient. Right? Because I think what I want to do is this. What is the... Do we... Just going to send this real quick. I know I'm about to make bad data, but I think we're going to clear some data here in a minute anyway.
I think so.
Come on, wake up, server, darn it, wake up. I should have really just ramped the min replicas to 1. That way I leave it up for the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's my document ID. Oh, I guess I knew my document ID. Right? But then I want to do upload status of the document ID. Send it. Okay, so I want to do this. And then I want to do... Okay, so we do this, and then we go, what is it? Edit, paste special, paste JSON as classes. Okay, so you've seen that trick before, right?
No.
You see that cool trick? Let me show you this.
I did not. Show me
so
one more time.
So you go into Postman, you get your JSON payload. You go, yeah, this is what I want to deserialize. Come over to Visual Studio. Put yourself on a blank line. Edit, paste special, paste JSON as classes.
All right, that's pretty cool. I have not seen that one. That is super slick, actually.
So yeah, so we're gonna just not do that. I don't care about tags. I honestly don't care about anything other than completed. Well, failed. What does empty mean? Let's leave.
That one I don't know.
Let's leave. We just won't do remaining steps. I don't want to figure out what the object is. Let's see. Upload status. There. And normally I would rename these and decorate them and all that stuff, but that sounds a lot like work. Let's see. Read as JSON. Come on. There is a read as JSON. Parse as JSON or something to that effect. What is the bloody name of the method? Read from JSON async. Thank you. That's what I wanted. Upload status. So we are going to do while, bring this up here, bool is complete, while not is complete. Come on, Copilot, you have all the detail. Go. There you go, Copilot. That's what I'm talking about. Well, it's complete. But equal to true. I am way too lazy for this stuff. Okay. Something of this vicinity, I think works just fine. That's my theory.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't understand what you're doing.
Be patient. Slowing it down. So we're gonna add a little.
Oh, okay. You're adding the slow down.
Right line.
You're going easy mode first.
Waiting for completion. Let's see. If content dot what is it? Failed. It's gonna early exit on this guy. So I assume at some point I either get completed or failed, right? One of the two.
Presumably, yes.
True. Console right line. Failed. Just file. I should probably put the file as part of this. And then let's see. File. Oh, this is not quite right. Because this is the post response. The post response, more like this.
But we don't want the is complete from the post response.
No, but I need to parse it to get the document ID out.
Oh. Right? Yeah.
So paste JSON as class. Post response. Let's see here. So let's see. Var post response gets response content. Read from JSON async. Post response. If string is null or white space, post response, document ID, get document ID from upload, breakout, that you don't matter anymore. You come down here, waiting for completion, and then this becomes client get from JSON async upload status, and the endpoint is upload hyphen status. Actually, I don't want to do the slash there, because if the base URI ever contains anything extra, it will bite me.
We do it with upload.
We had a slash on upload. The thing is the way it combines the relative URI and the base URI. If you put a slash at the beginning of your relative URI, it's going to drop anything on the path of your base URI, which is the problem. Okay. In our case, it doesn't matter, but it could matter, and I don't want to be bitten by it later. Let's see.
Yep.
You're unhappy about token. You know what? We don't need this because we got the right line outside of it. And then this guy should just return. So we're either going to get a completed true or a failed true. And once that happens, we'll do this. Yeah, let's send this. Commit, push. And then we'll see what happens here. So because I think what we're going to do is we're going to run this one more time with just the single file to make sure that it works.
Okay.
Let's see. I can't see my cursor. It's so painful. So bloody painful. Okay, but I think this then gets it going. And if this works, then I think we'll do a full send again.
Okay.
My brain too smooth to understand this. Oh, don't worry, Hugh. Like, this is...
Yeah.
The idea is quite simple. We are trying to feed markdown files into a running server instance of kernel memory so that we can basically make our own ChatGPT of me. That's the premise. And right now, we're just having trouble getting it to properly ingest a file. Okay, so this guy ingesting file, we see that output line, right? So the next line I expect to see waiting for completion or did not get update, like one of those two. Okay, see, waiting for completion, unhandled. Bad request. Okay, let's see here. Ingest file line 106.
What did our URI end up looking like?
Let's see. Not having a cursor is really hard. 106. Get from JSON. Upload status. Oh, I did not pass my index and document. The whole point of getting that information.
Yeah, that would help.
Not get. Yeah, so this thing here basically needs index equals. So it turns out that if you're gonna do it, you should actually do it right.
Yep.
So let's see. My big head is in the way. So post response index, and then we do this, and we go document ID equals post response document ID. Right? I think that lines up with.
I gotta ask you something, Kevin. Yeah. How did you get your like continues on the next line symbol there at the end of that line, end of 106?
This?
Yeah, I love that symbol. I want that.
So it actually is incredibly complicated to turn on. You do Control Q, word wrap.
Whoa. You're killing me. I feel like I've had word wrap on, but I've never seen that signal or that symbol.
Show visual glyphs for word wrap.
That's what I was missing. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
When in doubt, if you know the right words, Control Q lets you find it.
Control
Q. But that requires you to know the right words to put in, which is really frustrating when it's like, I don't know the feature.
Exist.
Yeah. Let's see. Passing parameters correctly.
Doing what we were supposed to do.
Doing the thing that was supposed to have happened the first time.
Doing the needful.
Yeah. So we come here, we have to do. I wish there was a rerun latest with the same parameter as before.
Yeah.
You know what? If I could see my cursor, I'd find that clear all button. Oh, there it lit up. Oh, dang it. I lost the file name. I only had pinned one of them.
It would happen.
See, here's the other part. Do you see where my cursor is?
Yeah, it's over subtitles. YouTube subtitles.
I can't click on it. Because it thinks my cursor is down by actions.
Oh, goodness
Now
gracious.
it lets me click on it. Like there's a weird jumpy thing that's going on, and it makes me very unhappy. Because my cursor keeps bouncing from where I see it. Like there, it's now up by the go-to file. Now it's back by the file name. It's like, stop it, you piece of garbage.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I'm somewhat confident it is graphics driver related too. Yeah. I have actually discovered the other day that there's an easy way for me to blue screen my machine. I run the driver update wizard. Instant blue screen. I think once I move, when I set this machine back up, I might just format and start over because I kind of want to dev drive my secondary hard drive anyway.
Yeah, nice.
So I might just torch and start over. Like I occasionally torch my machines anyway, half the time, because like I force myself to make sure things are stored in the cloud and appropriately backed up. And so if you torch your machine,
cleanup.
Yeah. So I occasionally torch my machines just as a way of forcing myself to do it. And I usually am smart. Anything I care about, I make sure is on my second machine. That way, if I torch the first one and realize, crap, I have a backup. Yeah. It's just annoying to get. So it's enough pain. It's enough pain that I'm probably going to fix it rather than ignore it. Okay, we'll see how long. Waiting for completion. Oh, I guess on the single file, it doesn't have anything. So that appeared to finish. I guess I don't have a good way of doing this. Can I highlight all here? Control A. How do I delete all?
SQL?
What?
You use SQL?
Oh. Okay, fine. Manually editing. Yeah, just don't.
What was that? Why delete? With the command?
Okay, fine. Rerun all jobs. Rerun. I just want to make it work.
I know.
See, my brain is too smooth for this as well. I've only had 3 Mountain Dews. I cannot process this level of advanced analytics that we are clearly in the process of.
I was unaware that Mountain Dew increased the number of wrinkles in your brain.
It's a special feature.
A feature, not a bug?
Correct. It is definitely a feature. Okay, so now if I go select star from, right? Okay, so there's currently nothing in there.
Yep.
When this finishes, there is stuff in there. Lots of stuff. We see things, lots of things.
We should see a whole file worth of things.
And then we never did deal with or maybe I should ask, is there a way for me to deal with, does this thing already exist? Don't add it.
Yes.
And I assume it has to do with my document ID being random. Right? Like I have to believe I'm the reason it doesn't know that things are the same. Like I'm giving it the same hash. Okay. So I now have 68 new vectors. So that's a thing. Okay. So
that should be everything.
Yes, but now I must do the obvious thing is we must test.
Do we know what's in this file?
I have no idea what's in this
presumably file. Mountain Dew should be on there. You're right. What am I thinking? I need to shut up. Just run.
What stream do I not say the word Mountain Dew in? Send it. No relevant memories found. Oh.
I've got my liquid medicine, but you don't say the word Mountain Dew.
Uh.
It can't tell what was in the scenes. We're only giving it the transcripts.
Oh,
All
that
right.
is
I'm sorry. It's
horrible.
not that good.
That is horrible. I picked. Uh.
Oh,
So
that
hold
was
on.
too
Let's ask
perfect.
a
It
better
was
question.
too perfect.
What does Kevin typically talk about? I don't know if it's going to be able to do this. Let's see. I don't know. We're going to see. Do you have any memory of that?
My only curiosity is if it would know that it's Kevin. I don't think that it should be relevant, but just a thought.
It knew Kevin with only 2 embeddings about the drink.
This is true. This is
And
true.
I don't know if I actually said Kevin. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good.
WPF.
Kevin typically discusses topics related to software development, practically focusing on user interface design and implementation using frameworks like WPF. He often delves into the intricacies of handling asynchronous programming patterns, managing UI components, and adhering to design specifications such as material design. It also shares his experience with debugging, optimizing code. Man, I'm gonna have it write my own resume at this point. It's making me sound pretty good. It's making me sound pretty good.
It's making it sound real good. And you're lucky because you have a bunch of audio or transcripts that you could use to do that. Yeah.
That's really good. Okay, my little bot's doing rather nice. Considering I didn't give it a lot of data to play with, that's...
Oh, yeah.
This is the one that it based it on, huh?
Well, that one and several others, because it's going to pull...
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
It's going to
have
pull multiple.
Several.
I don't know what we set. Actually, with how long this is, scroll to the bottom of this.
That's a long way down, buddy. So it must have summarized quite a bit.
I think it pulled all of them. I think it pulled all of the memories. So what I would say is we need to go and take a look at the restrictions we can set on the number of memories to pull back during an ask. Because this is definitely too many. You don't want to be, this is all getting stuffed into your context going to your ChatGPT 4.0. This is going to be like a lot of tokens. I mean, it's not that many tokens, but it's going to be a fairly significant amount of tokens, and it costs more to actually run a completion than it does embeddings.
Okay, so let me make sure I've got this right. So the path of travel is when I send in a question, it then generates the embedding for this question or the prompt or whatever we're going to call this thing, right?
Yep.
It once it has that embedding, it then does, what is it, cosine similar search to find which vector that prompt is closest to. Vectors it is closest to, right? Because it pulled back a bunch of them.
Yep.
Right? It pulled back all of these, and once it had all of these, it then fed that into GPT to say, okay, here is the context under which you should answer this question, right? So it found the relevant items, which is the retrieval augmented part, right? So it retrieved the relevant items, used those to then augment the prompt into GPT to generate a response to this. The GPT then promptly had to suffer through a lot of this. And
I think it's everything. I don't think that we've set any number, and I don't know if it defaults to something reasonable. Or maybe we even did set a number.
Everything in this library has defaulted to something reasonable so far. I will be shocked if it doesn't default to something reasonable.
I mean,
so far everything has.
I wonder if you could, can you?
Because I'm wondering if it was, I'm wondering, because
if you pull this out and put this into
code.
Put this into Visual, code. Make it some nice JSON that we can collapse things. We can get a count of this.
Oh, okay. Got it. So hang on. So I got to do language mode JSON. Right? Okay. And then you want me to do relevant sources and just, no, partitions is what I actually want, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to see these.
And really all that matters is that we take the 15 to 44.
Well,
so
I can just do this, right? Because if I do this, I can tell you there's
Oh,
66 relevant sections. So I'm
now
gonna
let's
go
go to
off top.
Postgres.
I'm on top of my head. There are 66 items in this partition. Oh, I see. And then you want to see if that's all of them. No, it excluded 2 of them.
2 of them were so far off that it didn't
So
even matter.
far, like this
Or
is not. But you are right. It did basically pull back everything and go, I need to summarize everything this guy's ever done.
Yeah, well, and I think this actually might point to a bug, in fact, because I think it should have pulled all of them. 66 is too weird of a number. Why would it pull 66? Doesn't make any sense. So it should be pulling all of them.
Vectors are too far off.
Doesn't make sense. If there's no limit on how close they have to be and no limit on the number that it can pull back,
oh, so
then it should pull back everything. And if it didn't pull back everything, then we've got a bug that's causing it not to pull back 2 of them. I don't know what. We'll have to look, but I would stay. Let's go first to config.
Yeah, let's go here, because this is where I would suspect that there's probably a default
retrieval search client.
Empty answer. I'm gonna remember. Hang on. Bookmark that sucker.
That's cool. Stop right there. You've got it. Max mount matches count. It says 100, so that would be more than 68. And it says the max ask prompt size is -1, so unlimited size. Answer tokens 300. That one I'm not sure what it's related to, but top P is 0.0, and I'll bet you if you look at if it's 0, it's going to mean infinite.
Okay, so hang on. This is one where I've seen customize chat GPT top P versus temperature, right? Because
temperature is the randomness.
Yeah, but this is for people who are interested. I think this is one of these in here. It was on OpenAI's thing. They had a really nice write-up of both of these values.
And I'm thinking top K, not top P.
Hang on. Stop doing
top P has to do with which of the possible next tokens it gets to choose from when selecting the next token to place into
this. Oh, yeah, this was one of the other good ones.
Nucleus sampling. Yep.
Yeah. So, okay. So for people interested in what those words actually mean. Okay. Sorry.
So somewhere here, and maybe I'm missing it, but there should be something that search client, there should be something that gives us the ability to select a minimum relevance. I guess we can pass that in. Oh, we can pass the relevance in with the request. I bet.
You mean right here?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to use this, but I see the word relevance.
Yeah.
And my programmer brain goes, I can match strings in my head.
So let's go to the request. Let's go to the request body for upload or for search, whatever it was. Ask. There we go. Ask. That's it. Is there not? Maybe it's a header. I feel like we should be able to pass relevance in unless I'm missing. Not there.
I don't see it. We can go confirm because this is just the Postman generated from the that was generated
from off of the API.
Yeah, so but we could go here because I think this guy here has the endpoints. There's your post.
But your optionals should have shown up as well. So it must be coming from config, and we're just missing something in the config. Not like physically, but visually.
Add post. Hold on. I want to go to ask endpoint. This guy here.
Min relevance query. So I guess
it is pulling off. So we could specify a min relevance
in the query that's going in.
Memory query. So it's not the query string. This is the memory query. So this guy is getting loaded up for us. This is going to be DI injected in. So then I guess the question is, how does memory query get built?
I think it has to be in the config somewhere that we have the access to relevance. Not that it gets built there, obviously, but
the index in question comes through the same thing.
Yeah,
it's now giving me a pause to say that this is different. I'm wondering if memory query is a POCO for the payload.
Maybe.
So let me find this sucker. Where is memory query? Public class memory query. Yeah, that looks like the POCO I look for.
Oh, look
at that. So we can specify
filters min relevance
and min relevance in here. So in theory, right?
And the min relevance there is 0.
So if we come through, I just want to see what my ranges are. So I was going to try to pick something that would exclude it. So if I do 0.72, that should drop some of these off.
Did you see something above that?
Yeah, the top one is 0.74, and then I saw 0.71.
Yep.
Right, so if I do min relevance, right, and we do 0.72, right, let me just confirm that this thing parses to I think it was declared double. Yeah. So that should do there. Send it. And we probably waited more than like the 60 seconds and my server went to sleep again.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Hey, it makes the server really cheap when it goes to sleep, immediately. It's like the most lazy possible intern I can have. It's like, you didn't give me something to do for the last 60 seconds, so I'm going to take a nap. Okay, so
your spot still feels long. Although
but I do like how it so it changed up a little bit of some of the things that it chose to highlight. So I'm guessing 0.74, like we can pull this guy out, right? And I can drop it back into, I might be able to drop it into code. If I can figure out how to get there again. Right? So now I'm down to 31.
Yeah.
So that let us dial it down a little bit.
Ooh.
I kind of want to do, while I'm in here.
You've made me think of a whole nother realm of this.
There is filters. Man, it bothers me that they do something like this because I could null this sucker out, and I wonder if I crash the server if I do. Huh. Okay. I'm not going to specify those.
No.
I'm going to leave those off for the moment. So, just for my own clarification, do you know what filters does?
Filters?
Yeah.
So I believe it allows you to filter on the it's either tags or it's the other metadata. One of the two.
Well, memory filter derives from tag collection and has
tag by document.
And yes, but you'll note this is just a tag collection. So this thing has just a key value pair, it looks like.
Reserve document ID tag.
This is making sense to me now. This is scary. The tags are what we set up here, right?
Yes.
So
that's what I was getting at.
Okay, got it. So when we say tag filter, if I pull, because we plugged URL in as a tag, right? Mm-hmm. The fact that like file name exists here, if I say, hey, by the way, I want only, document ID X or file X, right? I can now limit, or for whatever reason, I only want part 10.
There could be or section 0.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
So yes.
So that's a good reason to populate your tags with anything that you may want to relevantly filter by, kind of like you do in your Gmail.
Yeah.
Right. You make your different tag buckets and you shove your emails into things. That way you don't have to search through all your emails.
Well,
I have
that's
been
exactly
doing
it. You could
manual
tag
RAG this whole time.
Well, and you bring up a good use case where you could tag different file types or different like you could have, say you have multiple email inboxes, right? You're pulling those in, you're going to put them into there, and you know that you want to ask a question, and that question's going to be answered somewhere in your work emails. You specify that filter, and you can ask a question against your work emails and not everything that you have in your corpus.
Right. So I have playlists and tags on my YouTube videos, though. I think what I want to do is is when we do this, right? I've got the video ID. I want to go out and query the playlists and tags that are on it. And I want to include that here because I can very much see a use case where it's like, I would like to query my videos, but I only am interested in the stuff that's in like the material design playlist.
So, and what's really cool about this is you could have that as a specific option, or you could have the system figure that out itself. So you could send this in, run not just a single like pull your data and then run it into the LLM. So there's this concept, they use it in both LangChain and Semantic Kernel. Semantic Kernel, they call it planners. LangChain, they call it chains, if I'm not mistaken. But it's adding steps to your process. It's like building an actual workflow for it beyond just like the ingestion piece here. Because right now you've got an ingestion pipeline, but you don't have like a workflow that your LLM goes through or that your system in tandem with the LLM goes through. But what you use like planners for is you send in a request to do something, and it first takes that and then breaks that into individual steps, and then it runs each one of those individual steps, recognizing, oh, hey, this has math in it. Instead of trying to generate this math, I'm going to go call this other thing that'll do the math for me, and then I'm going to use that in my generation. And then it'll go through these different steps and sometimes aggregates the results of steps together to do another prompt or as the response that's coming back. So we could have the system fuzzy match against things that would be, WPF. Maybe it's WPF.
I wanted to fuzzy match against like my list of playlists.
Well, that's what I mean though. You fuzzy match. So you've got a WPF playlist, I'm sure, right?
I don't actually think it's WPF. I think most of the time it gets bucketed under the material design stuff, but yes.
Okay, so you want it to work on material design or I don't know, whatever matte design or whatever ways you could shorten that. Find a way to fuzzy match or match against it, and then have the LLM decide what tags it wants to use. Or even if they're asking a question that's cross domain, it grabs both of them and gets results from both of them. Anyways, we can make this a lot more intelligent and reduce like manual steps for the user or for you.
I am going to have a minion of myself very soon.
Yes, we can go full minion on this.
Oh, I love this. Okay, so now that we have that going, I want to do one more thing. I have a suspicion that this execution took 1 minute and 18 seconds.
Yes.
Okay. The running of the run step was 1 minute. Now, some of that is startup, some of that is similar, but that means it's at present roughly a minute per file.
A minute per file at a single runner. Yes.
Yes. So the I cannot run this on my directory right now. right? Because the maximum
Correct.
timeout of a GitHub action execution is less than 168 minutes.
Well, you can't do it with waiting for completion.
Correct.
Yes. Yes.
So, but I think what we saw before is if I just fire everything at the one instance and we don't get that horizontal scaling going out, the single instance I suspect is just blowing through its memory and dying.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because this guy here, we could look at trying to scale these things up, but container apps are designed to be memory size, your head is in the way. And I don't know how to make it bigger. Yeah, the problem is let's see if I can do this. There, I moved it over. Memory size 0.5 gigs. Which 500 meg probably, but I don't know. There's enough going on there that at 168 things running in parallel,
it's not going to fly.
Is it like, I imagine it's going to allocate enough memory there to be potentially problematic, right? Even if it just held all of the vectors in memory while it was trying to do that, that would potentially blow through it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with everything else that's going on.
So I am thinking that in order to make this thing, if I wanted to run this thing now, we either have to get the batching or similar up to par, because the going one at a time is definitely going to, like, I could do that, but I would have to intelligently like kick off.
It's going to be more work. Yeah. It's going to be more work than doing queues.
Yeah. Well, but I think in order
actually horizontally scaling.
Yeah, which I think is what we should do. I think that's the right solution. But I think I also too, in order to have that work, I'm going to need to get the identity stood up, right? Because I need the managed identity here. I then need to make sure that it has appropriate permission on the storage account to create and manage queues, because it wants to do all of that, right? So I need to get
queue contributor.
Yeah, so I need to promote this guy's identity on the storage account to be able to do the queues.
Yep.
And then in order to make him scale horizontally and process that,
you need to scale in your container app.
Correct. I'm just trying to remember if I need to do that as a container app job or if I can do it here as a regular container app.
I would suspect you can do it there as a regular container app.
Because this was then going to need, I need to have a secret in here that contains the connection string. I'm just trying to think of what I ended up having to do on the other side, right? Because I did it with container app jobs when they were still beta.
Oh, okay.
So there's a very real chance that some of this is easier now. Sorry, I'm just looking at what ended up happening. So this thing here has already gone through. It's pulled out the connection string from the storage account. It's pulled out the creds for the ACR, which doesn't really matter, and it's looked up the environment name. So when it goes to create this job, it already has all of that information. It has its max degrees of parallelization. It seems like as long as I go here, connection string secret, right, and I populate that up accordingly, I could probably make it work. And then over here, what we have to do is we need to change the simple queues to Azure queues, which I think is what you were trying to drive at with this kernel memory config, right?
Yep.
Because this guy here, going extensions, Azure queues, and I think the implication was that this was going to be the potential POCO that we needed to define, but the question was how to define it, right? Because this guy here.
I would be surprised if it's
in
not.
The dependency injection.
I would be surprised if it's not in your config file already.
Add singleton queues config. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Azure queues config. This guy here is. No, where I'm confused as to how we get into here. Add Azure queues orchestration. I guess this is the question. Search for the symbol. Who is going to call you?
Service
this guy here. Okay, so this guy's the one who's going to add it. Okay, so data ingestion, distributed organization, queue type. All right, so this guy here is going to pull this out. Oh, I was like, what is different? The S. So they support Azure Queue or Azure Queues. It doesn't matter which.
No.
And then once that is defined, it grabs the service config, which I don't know what this method does. It's not a built-in one that I'm familiar with. But I'm going to assume that once I do Azure Queues, right, I am wondering if this becomes Azure Queues. I do love that it has the fallback, but you know what? We're gonna land in the easy case for it. Right? So I assume I do something like that, and then once I have the values that I can put in there are everything here. Right? So how did you do, Copilot? Queue name, is that a choice in here? I don't see queue name as a choice. Auth, connection string, account. Okay, so it's going to basically want the connection string coming through here, which means I probably want to bind this sucker up. So the way you end up doing this is you set a user secret, and then you end up setting environment variables that match the user secrets. But
so
this is weird because
is the intent to run these as jobs or as regular container apps?
So a job is just a specialized container app. So anything a container, well, let me think. As I understand it, a job is just a specialized form of a container app, right? Inside of Kubernetes, they're the equivalent of your cron job deployment type under the hood. Versus like, say, a regular deployment being an app. So similar but different. This connection string is what's needed for the outside system to be able to reach across and evaluate these scale rules at this polling interval, which makes it kind of convenient, because now this thing can say, okay, given this, I'm going to spin up more. I think we can do the same thing on a container app as well, and I assume it's going to be similar. But that also means this thing is expecting to find, say, a connection string inside of here. And I guess it doesn't need a connection string. It could be Azure Identity. But I assume if I specify Azure Identity, it's then going to at least need the account. Right? And I'm trying to decide, it must just specify the queue name itself. Because if all I give it is an account, how do it know the queue name? All right, pull delay, fetch batch size. Oh, there must be a base class. There's all this poison queue stuff, but I don't see properties for this. There's got to be No, wait, where is this poison Q stuff? Oh, poison Q suffix right there. Got it. So it must specify a name based on something else, the actual Q name. Because that does not appear to be an option inside of here. It's interesting too that it wants to fetch in a batch of 3. So this is already going to start to batch a little bit for us as soon as this starts running.
Okay.
This bothers me a great deal. Azure Q default is 30 seconds. Fetch lock seconds. Somebody's lying to me somewhere. I don't know who, but somebody's lying.
Yeah, something feels wrong there.
I prefer when people make these things time spans. Like, then we eliminate the ambiguity.
Yeah.
Yes, if somebody specifies an int, it doesn't work, but whatever. It forces consistency. Okay. Well, maybe given that it is 12:25, we look at that next time.
Yeah,
and I might see about trying to get some of this scaled up.
Okay, cool.
But I think this is probably going fairly well. Thank you, Casey.
Absolutely.
And just as a reminder for everyone, no stream next week. I am moving and will very likely not have an internet connection next Wednesday. So that will make streaming difficult. Plus, I'll be unpacking boxes and all sorts of other fun moving stuff. That doesn't sound great. So
how are you gonna live? How are you gonna live without your office? It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough. It is going to be difficult. But the nice part is I kind of get to build the office the way I want, though. So
that is a dream as well. I can understand that.
Yeah, we have a contractor coming by shortly after we take ownership of the place to look at the unfinished basement so we can discuss possibilities.
Awesome.
So,
well, that's exciting.
We'll see how that comes, because there's the dream wish list, and then there's likely what's possible wish list. So
and then there's the cost.
Yeah. There's a little thing like time and cost. Like, everything's possible if you just demo the house and start over, but
that's true. You could always build a new house.
Yeah.
On top of the same land.
That's not in budget.
Yeah, fair.
So, yeah, and part of why we bought it was for the house, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Casey, once again. As always, it'll be a pleasure.
Absolutely.
We'll touch base on timing for schedule, and we'll see how things go.
I'm excited to get into part 4 and deal with some scaling and queues and all the good stuff.
Yeah, we'll do some more Azure fun. Thank you, everyone, for coming and hanging out. As always, happy coding. See everyone next time.